was 6 June 2023. The department has appointed 6 subcontractors to the tune of 1.6 billion. The subcontractors as follows: Phoenician for drilling and blasting, SAR, ASLA for drilling and grouting, MDD joint venture, Denhoa Quarry and Aggregates, Stefnuti Stocks for reinforcing and concrete surface preparation, Form Scarf, form work, the jet demolition for concrete cutting. The construction progress was reported 70% as of 30 September 2024. The revised program has been submitted and accepted by the engineer with the baseline completion date of 31 May 2028. Labor statistics and participation of the small medium enterprise. The construction unit as the main contractor created a total of 207 jobs dominated by male, 159 of which 55 are youth, while females are 48, of which 27 are youth. Majority of laborers fall under unskilled, 44% category, followed by semi-skilled, 23%, while engineers and technicians constitute 11%, and the subcontractors created 113 jobs, which are mainly semi-skilled and dominated by males. The SME are categorized in terms of amount of the contract awarded, referred to Table 2, which is there it shows the allocation of funds in accordance with the SME participations. The estimated cost of the project completion is 6.8 billion rands, which includes the raising of the dam wall and associated works. And as it stands, Table 3 shows the budget, which is 6.8 billion. And of that 6.8 billion, only 17% it's the budget that is available, and expenditure at the time of this report, it was 1.3 billion, which is 20% of the available budget. So there is some discrepancy, but anyway, key challenges and possible solutions. The condition of the Clan William Dam was rated F, meaning the dam is unsafe, by the Dam Safety Office in September 2022. The department appointed the APP to recommend the immediate actions to address catastrophic dam safety rating. The department is currently implementing the emergency scope that was recommended by the APP. The unsafe access and from the dam to the N7 road is being addressed through the appointment of subcontractor that would align the access road from N7. The decommissioning of hydropower station has delayed construction work. The process is underway that would compel Clarke Power to cease hydropower operations and vacate the site. That was the briefing by the department on Water Dam. This was on the second day of the oversight visit. The Water Dam is the 7th largest dam in South Africa, which is 12 times smaller than Germiston Dam. You know, Germiston Dam is the largest dam in South Africa. However, it is the largest Western Cape water supply storage dams. The Water Research Commission calls it one of the most imaginative water transfer schemes in South Africa, which links the Berg and Sonderend rivers in the Western Cape province. It is a conventional earth-filled dam completed in 1980 that stands 37.5 meters high above the lowest foundation and has a crest length of 646 million cubic meters. The dam has a gross storage capacity of 82 million cubic meters and covers an area of 5,100 hectares when it's full. It has a side channel spillway with 394 cubic meters per second in capacity. A conduit through the embankment is divided into 2 chambers housing the low level and normal outlet respectively. The low level outlet, which has a maximum capacity of 180 cubic meters per second, is controlled by a slab gate at the upstream end of the culvert, and the discharge energy dissipated by means of a flip bucket. A subsidiary embankment inside the Water basin contains the Charmaine inlet and outlet. The embankment is composite structure, a concrete spillway flanked by 6-meter high earthfill of crest length 136 meters, designed to create a sediment retention basin, which allows the intakes to draw off clear water into the Franschhoek channel. The dam provides storage of the large quantities of runoff that becomes available during winter rainy season, the upper reaches of River Saunders, and are then transferred through channels from Berg River catchment. During the dry summer season, water from the Theewaterskloof Dam can be transferred to Berg River and Eerste River valleys. It is operated by the department. It is the backbone of the Western Cape water supply system, which provides water to City of Cape Town, Germiston local municipality, Stellenbosch local municipality, Onelands, and Sonderend River Water Associations, Upper Berg River and Feyboom irrigation boards. The agricultural sector abstracts directly from the dam, while Overberg water boards abstract and supply water to Theewaterskloof local municipality. The region of the Western Cape is susceptible to drought events. The last severe drought was experienced in 2016-17, which brought the dam level 35%, which is equivalent to 15 million cubic meters of water, which is not accessible due to the mechanism of water transfers in this scheme. This necessitated the drought emergency works, which involves the construction of a coffer dam to close off the section between the old Dryberg Bridge abutments, which would effectively cut the dam into two sections. The main body of the dam, which contains 27%, and the Charmaine intake shaft section with the associated approach tunnel. The excavation of the bypass trench with a floor width of 7.8 meters on the right bank, looking downstream to bypass the coffer dam structure. The construction of the platform on the right bank downstream of the coffer to serve as a pump platform. Construction of a canal lined with 2 millimeter thick HDPE lining. The pumps will discharge water into the canal and discharge upstream of the coffer dam structure towards the Charmaine intake shaft. Lastly, pumping would commence when the water reaches lowest level, known as RL 293 meters. However, the dam level started to rise in June 2017 due to heavy rainfall. The Western Cape water supply system was reported to be at 94% full due to good winter rain this year, with the Theewaterskloof boosting 100% full capacity during the oversight visit. The Western Cape water supply challenges. The department reported vandalism of infrastructure, high vacancy rate on maintenance of teams, and lack of proper office facilities at the dam. Vandalism of the infrastructure is rife across the scheme. Areas such as Germiston, Palmit, the West Heat. It includes vandalism and theft of pumps and other structures made of precious metals. However, the security guards are being used to protect and secure the key infrastructure. The austerity measures, which require that new positions should be approved by DPSA before advertisement, is negatively affecting the maintenance work at various schemes. The department is unable to appoint groundsmen and other functional staff, support staff due to classification of work at water schemes as technical. The department is currently using the water user associations to carry out some of the maintenance work on contract, while it is looking for sustainable resolution to the filling of vacancies. Deliberations and recommendations. These are the deliberations and recommendations following the oversight visit activities as well as briefing by the department. 5.1, the committee noted the progress made at Klein William Dam and the benefits that would accrue to the farmers and other water users downstream of the dam. It further noted the rehabilitation plan that would include revegetation of the river dam banks when the construction work is completed. 5.2, the committee requested that the department provide a Klein William Dam break analysis report within 14 days of the adoption of the oversight report. The committee noted existing hydropower opportunities at both Klein William and Theewaterskloof dams and associated infrastructure such as tunnels. It further noted that there is currently a dispute between Clarke Power and the department, wherein Clarkson Power does not want to cease hydropower operations in Glen William Dam, the committee recommended that the department should provide a report on hydropower electricity generation at Glen William Dam within 14 days of the adoption of the oversight report. The committee noted the delays in the maintenance of the Charmaine Channel due to the unavailability of a suitable time for City of Cape Town to curtail the water supply through this tunnel. The tunnel was last maintained in 2013. Maintenance can only be done during dry season. The department indicated that they are legally allowed to give the City of Cape Town 6 months notice period before closing the tunnel for maintenance. The committee recommended that the department should give the City of Cape Town a notice in line with the conditions of operation and maintenance of the tunnel. The committee noted the impact of vandalism on water supply systems, where electrical and mechanical components such as pump stations and copper cables are constantly damaged and stolen. The committee recommended the department should provide a report on vandalism of infrastructure pertaining to these projects with details on financial, water, and human livelihood losses. The committee noted the number of vacancies and frozen positions in the department relating to groundsmen, cleaners, and other semi-skilled positions. These vacancies expose the infrastructure to vandalism, poor maintenance, and operation. The austerity measures that have been put in place that only provide for the filling of critical positions upon motivation are exacerbating the impact of vacancies. The committee noted the submissions on equitable water allocation and Thevateris Kloof, where 60% of water is allocated to agriculture, while the 40% goes to domestic or municipal and industrial. The BOCMA is responsible for validation and verification of water users to ensure equitable water allocation. The committee recommended that BOCMA should provide report on water allocation statistics for the systems in 14 days after the adoption of the oversight report. The committee noted the submission by Thevateris Kloof Municipality on its water development plan, green drop report, aging water infrastructure. The municipality reported that it is updating its water development plan. It further indicated that it receives water from the overflow of the dam and boreholes. It also has a challenge of vandalism of water infrastructure. Its water loss is around 35%, which is equivalent to 18 million rand per annum. There is lack of funding for its water development plan. Lastly, the municipality indicated it requires assistance to apply for funding from the Water Services Infrastructure Grant, amongst other sources. Thank you, Chairperson and honorable members. That is the end of the oversight report.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, is that a true reflection of the oversight? Is there any member that would like to speak on this or make any additions to this report?
Chair, may I just make a comment, if I may?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Chair, it's quite concerning, and I think all members should be equally concerned that so much of money is being spent on these dams, and they take so long to be completed. I know the raising of the Hazelmere Dam as well, it took a considerable amount of time. I just want to know if we are ensuring that in the specs, when the specs are being drawn up, that time frames, specific time frames are included, and penalties are also included where delays occur.
Thank you for that. Honorable Motlala?
No, thanks so much, Chairperson. Let me take the opportunity and greet members of the Portfolio Committee. Chair, I just want to, I heard it's been captured, this matter of hydropower station. But Chairperson, I think we also need to elaborate on it further, because this issue of, we need to understand the question also that was asked when we were doing oversight, who's benefiting here with these issues of hydropower station? Why is the government not doing this thing by themselves? Why are they outsourcing? Because you'll find out that one person is benefiting when the majority of the people are buying electricity very expensive, and one person is benefiting, and there's nothing that is paying in return to the government. So we requested that we are provided with that answer. I also wrote a question to the Minister of Water and Sanitation in a written response form to ask about that. Nothing is being responded in that regard. So I think we need to add there and ask what is happening. We went to that Waterskloof of them, and we heard that there's a guy that is in dispute with the government of just moving away from that particular place to another place because they want to proceed with the refurbishment of the dam or the expandment of the dam. So we want to know these people that are even having so much power to say that I can't move here, wasting our time when we're supposed to be finishing the work, delaying the department. What is that we are benefiting from them in terms of running a business with the public resource? We want to know how are the people, the community members also benefiting, because it cannot be one white person that is benefiting when majority of the people are suffering. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Honourable Moore.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to the committee and the research for putting together the oversight report. I do think that it is a fair and accurate representation of the oversight we did. I went and had a look for some of the extra learnings that we found on the ground, and they are included, so I'm very satisfied with this report.
Thank you, Honourable Member. I want to concur myself with Honourable Motlala. Tumani, we have addressed this there, but could we maybe just specifically ask on the hydro, especially the one where there's a court case on in Clem-William? I know you have addressed it there, but that we get a full report within 14 days after this on the outcome of that negotiation, of removing that individual from site, and what is the future of the electricity, how will it be dealt with? Could you maybe add that in, as Honourable Motlala has requested? I think it is important that we get 100% clarity on that. And then on the issue of Honourable Reddy, there is a report, Honourable Reddy, and it is the department building the construction unit that is in charge. So the department is in charge, but you're 100% correct. We don't want to find ourselves that the 6 billion at the end of the day now became 8 billion rand. So could we maybe also just add there, Tumani, that we get a progress report on the funding and the time frames of the Clem-William Dam? Would you maybe just add that in as well to cover the question of Honourable Reddy? Tumani? Honourable Motlala, did you want to add something else? Honourable Motlala, your hand is still up. Did you want to add something else?
No, Chairperson, I think it's a legacy hand.
Okay. Are you happy if we add that, Honourable Motlala and Honourable Reddy, to this report?
Yes, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Tumani, would you just add that into the report?
Yes, Chairperson. If I may also just indicate that perhaps to expand on the issue of Honourable Reddy, that I think the department has provided. I've seen it even at the NCOP in our committees where they focused on delays in project. And for the past 5 years, some of the delays were due to issues of just poor planning and bulk infrastructure projects. By their nature, they are projects that takes time. And The other issue is around the issue of funding, which obviously we are going to communicate to the department to provide some information around that. But I think from the briefings that we have received from the department so far is that the issue of public-private partnerships is going to be unleashed to improve or accelerate delivery on some of these infrastructure projects. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel in that regard.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, I'm going to update the report accordingly in line with the conditions provided. Thank you.
Tomani, my apology. Can I ask that with the additions that we have given now, can I ask that we then approve this report? Can I get someone to recommend this report with the additions that we have added? Honorable Lala?
No, thanks so much. Before we adopt, I had the explanation of Tomani. The delay of bulk water infrastructure, we are not talking about, we understand that it takes long, yes, to build a bulk water infrastructure, but we're talking about the delays. There are delays where the department will make a plan that in 10 years' time will be done with this dam. But in 10 years' time, the dam is not done, nothing has been happening. Let's talk about the Umzimvubu Dam. There's a lot of dams, even the same Glen Williams Dam, the same applied, which are the delays caused by irresponsibility of the government, irresponsibility of the people that are leading in that regard, and the issue of finance as well as Tomani have stipulated here. It's also part of those things. The issue of malfeasance, the issue of corruption as well taking place. So I think we also need to add that, Chairperson, on our report. But the fact that by nature it takes long, that is not an issue. We're not talking about that. We understand bulk infrastructure by nature, it takes long. But in this regard, we are talking about the problem that was caused by the irresponsibility of this government that makes the bulk infrastructures not to be completed in time. I think we need to add that as well. We don't have to talk as if we are the department. We are not the department. We are the Portfolio Committee of Water and Sanitation, and we need to hit hard where it's possible. The department must see how it deals with those things. Ours is to make sure that we provide oversight to this department, and where we don't see things properly, we must be able not to state it properly like that and not shy away of saying all those things. The department must be the one that take care of those things. We are crying here about the malfeasance, improper administration, everything, the corruption and everything, and the delays that are caused by them not being able to do work in time, and the issue of funding as well is a problem because sometimes they are not even given enough money. In instances where they are given enough money, the money doesn't get directed to the correct places, or the money doesn't get handled properly. Thanks so much.
Honourable Member, I agree with you, but we have dealt with the overall problem in the BRRR report that we are debating, that will be presented to Parliament this afternoon, which we can still debate on. I think we should just get focused back to the oversight on the Clem William and the Theewater Sloof. The others, we can even invite the department to come and make a presentation on this, but it is specific. We as a committee, in our recommendations on the BRRR report, we mentioned the management and the delays. We have managed that, and I think we have the opportunity today to debate that as well. Honourable Reddy.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm being prompted here, and I think it's important that we must note this. Look, in the report, it talks about the dam, right? That the commencement of this was in October 2018. And the department appointed the contractors, etc., etc. And as at the 30th of September 2024, the construction progress was 17%. Now, this is a multi-billion rand project. There's three issues. One, monies are being allocated to a project that's not moving. Two, communities are waiting because water is not being delivered to them, because obviously this is a key project that will produce water, make water available to the communities. And thirdly, where is the consequence management? Somebody has to be held accountable for this. Someone must be fired for this. And when we start doing things like that, I'm not finished. When we start doing things like that,
can I just quickly stop you there? Honorable Reddy.
then only we will not see a repeat. But this is not the first time. It's happened
Honorable
many
Reddy,
times. Now I'm done.
My apology. Honorable Reddy, there's a history on the Clem-William Dam. It was started, it was stopped, it started again, it was stopped. So there is a history on this. There's a lot of stuff that I think we can on a next meeting, we can have a discussion on this, on the specific Clem-William Dam. That's why we went for oversight, because it was stopped by the minister. The previous minister, Nomvula Mokonyane, has stopped this project. She wanted to go out on tender, but I think that is a discussion for which you would then understand why we are where we are with the Clem-William Dam. And because you maybe don't have the history of that dam and what the committees in the 6th Parliament and the 5th Parliament did to get this going again, I think we need to just give you a briefing on that, and then you would understand why there was such a long delay in this matter. May I then ask, Honourable Member, before Honourable Nxumalo, would you like to add something before we look at this report to adopt it, Honourable Member?
Thank you, Chair. There's something that I just want I'm being prompted here. On the issue of the vandalism and the theft. On the report, I see that it is still continuing, and yet we are told that there are security people that have been employed to look after the property. So I'm concerned that there is security, and also we see a continuation of vandalism. That's what I wanted to raise as a concern. Thank you.
Yeah. We have raised that concern and we were informed on the oversight that since they have appointed security, it stopped. It's not 100% stopped, but that's why we asked the department to deal with that in the report. Honourable members, can I now ask that we can we approve this minutes with the additions that we have made in this report? Is there any member that would assist us and so that we can adopt this report? Honourable Ramaila.
Thank you, Chair. I move that we adopt, but just want to remind colleagues about the decision that we have taken as a portfolio committee with regard to the action for the acceleration of delayed major water resource infrastructure projects. And included in that is the Clem-William Dam, for instance, the Crocodile, Mogolo, and what was that other particular one? Umkomazi water project. The sentiments that colleagues are raising are the sentiments that were raised previously, and that's why we able as a portfolio committee to come with a list of those projects, included Clem-Williams, unless if there's one other project that the portfolio committee raised concerns about the delays. Maybe, Chair, like we have tried to summarize it, maybe this matter should come back, get a report back from the department, then we can ventilate further on it. I therefore move, Chair.
Thank you very much. You're 100% correct. And we also dealt with it in our BRRR, all these dams. It is also mentioned in that report. And we will get a report back on that, because that was also a request in the BRRR. Honourable Moore.
Chair, I was ready to propose the adoption of the report. I don't know if we're at that stage.
Yeah, no, it's already been adopted. I need a seconder.
Then I will second. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, thank you very much. Before we start with this meeting, Honorable Reddy, can I ask you to, you have mentioned this report. Could you quickly just tell us about this, the item that you requested to add on, or can we deal with that after the meeting, not at the end of the meeting? And then I think what you would also request you also to do, Honorable Reddy, is maybe send us a proposal in writing that we can also then take to Chair of Chairs and get that done. So we can either wait for you to send us that in writing. We will have to take it to Chair of Chair and then bring this back to the committee and look at the time schedule and the funding to get, because everything that we can get additional to assist members of parliament to make sure that they understand their duties would be appreciated. So could we, would you like to say something on it now?
Yes, I think it wouldn't take more than 2 minutes. Chair, there is an entity called the National School of Governance, which is actually part of Parliament. It's an entity within government. And I think as portfolio committees, we need to make good use of the school so that we can empower members. We went through this through Public Works, and you get a certificate at the end of the course. It's absolutely amazing. I can assure you that every one of you, especially around the way we're doing KPIs and what is it we're looking for, all of this is so well covered in this particular course. I will send you the information. I'll post it on the WhatsApp group. And who is the committee secretary? I'm not familiar with the committee secretary. Perhaps the committee secretary can then bring that to your attention. And you're quite right. Let's get authority from the Chair of Chairs so that this portfolio committee also has access to that type of training. I thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much. You can just send that information to us. We will much appreciate. Nosipo, can we maybe just flag the agenda again, please?
All right, Chairperson.
Honourable members, I'm not sure. I just want to make sure who is. Can we maybe just start with the second point 6 on the agenda? But what I would like to do is we have decided to open, just go a little bit down again with the agenda, Honourable. There you are. Can I ask, I want to welcome everybody that is attending this meeting from the department, the minister, and all other entities, and then also those who are participating on the petition from Germiston residents, Honourable Clarke, and all other members that will attend this meeting. You are more than welcome. Thank you for availing yourself for this meeting, and I hope we can resolve this problem. And then before we start, can I ask that we observe a moment of silence for meditation and or prayer? Thank you very much. Let's move to point 3. Apologies. Is there any apologies? I have received the apology of the DG. Any other apologies?
Yes, Chairperson, also from the Deputy Minister, Mr. Ekurhuleni. Also, the Minister has requested to leave at 11:30 to attend to another meeting. Mr. Ditabe will join the meeting a bit later. He's on his flight to Cape Town. That is all, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Right, can we then move to point 6 of the agenda? May I ask, Nosipo, are we going to flight the petition, or are we going to give the petitioner a chance to speak on this petition, and then we get the response from the departments?
The petitioner must speak to the petition, Chairperson, and then you hand over to the department and City of Ekurhuleni to present.
Yeah, Can we go that route? Can we flight the petition for us?
Tomani? I don't have the petition right in front of me, Chairperson. Tomani?
Is Honorable Clarke on?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Nosipho.
Can you assist me with the petition from Ms. Clarke?
I will have to look.
Can I add Ms. Clarke as a co-host, Chairperson? She can flight it from her side.
Yes, I think you should do that. Yeah, but
Clarke.
the petitions were distributed to members, so I think in the meantime, while we look for it, then we can use the copies that we have.
Can I then make a ruling to say that while we wait for that, can Honorable Clarke then start speak on her petition and make her presentation to the committee? We have received your petition in writing, but would you like to do verbal presentation on your petition, Honorable Clarke?
Yes, thank you very much, Chairperson, and thank you for hosting me today at your meeting. I think the crux of the matter is this petition was handed in quite some time ago on behalf of the residents of Germiston by myself to Parliament. The petition also went to Ekurhuleni in terms of the issues we're experiencing. So nothing much has changed since the petition was sent to Parliament and to Ekurhuleni in terms of the water situation within the Germiston area. So I'm just going to go through some issues that still persist and that really needs attention. So the general consensus throughout the constituency, and I'm going to mention a few things in terms of each ward as well. And I will start with Ward 92, which is the Sunny Ridge area, which borders the Primrose ward areas. And just to give you an idea what's happened in the last 2 months, even that there have been several days between 10 and 15 days where there's been no water in that area, and that the Korhan water tower in Sunny Ridge is on the verge of collapse. The North Ridge Reservoir in Sunny Ridge is almost empty due to the feed into that reservoir. And we have this issue between Ekurhuleni and the Rand Water Board playing a blame game against each other and never can really get to the bottom of things. Highway Gardens, Klopper Park, Amelia and Berendal still have exceptionally old clay pipes, and of course Ekurhuleni has advised us, and I'm sure this could also probably be a COCTA issue as well, has advised us that they do not have the funding to replace those pipes. We have a council stock flat where many old people live, Wally Haywood Flats, which has not had water for 8 months, and the residents are forced to use hydrant water in order to drink water. And this is a massive issue. And then, of course, we're having to deal with massive illegal water connections. Then, just in terms of the Primrose Ward 36 area, Rand water leaks around the Germiston Reservoir in Churchill Road, and it has been for many, many months, Chairperson, in actual fact for years, because I've been there so many times where this beautiful clean drinking water just runs and nothing is ever done to sort that out, and has an impact on the Churchill Reservoir. So this is also impacted when there is water interruptions by Rand Water as well into that reservoir. It could be noted that the communication between Rand Water and Ekurhuleni and then the community could really be improved, because when we have these continuous water outages, we really battle in terms of communication between the two role players. Then just in Ward 39, which is the Lambton Delville area, for just in the past few months, there's been daily water outages in Albemarle, Dunwoody, Castleview, Wadeville areas. And we just did a calculation between, that just of recent times in the last 2 months, there's been areas out for 35 days out of 72 days in the past 2 months with water. The reservoir project that they are busy with in Russell Road in Lambton has now been put on hold, and we are told that there's no funding to continue with this project, but there's really no clarity as to what the holdup is. And of course, as we're all aware in Gauteng, we now also are exposed to throttling measures in terms of water. And then the pipes that need to be upgraded by Rand Water in that area, we are being told that it's private land and they can't do the upgrading. I can't understand that, Chairperson, because surely when you have pipes laid in terms of Rand Water, you register servitudes where those pipes are laid, and that assists in order to work on the infrastructure. Maintenance programs are very slow, and like I say, there's very, very little uptake when it comes to feedback. Then this is also then falls within Ekurhuleni, and they take up to 2 weeks sometimes to repair old water pipes that have burst, and we lose millions and millions of liters of water. And this happens all the time because the infrastructure in those areas are very old. They are still the old clay and asbestos, and even some of them are still the old asbestos pipes within Bedford View. And coming to Bedford View Central, often there's no water. The taps have run dry again for the past 2 days. And of course, the shocks on the system when they start repairing also results to burst pipes and residents not having water for weeks on end. So, in between Ekurhuleni and Rand Water, we would really like them to make sure that, and I see, in my petition, I'm mentioning all these things in terms of the Northridge Reservoir, the Churchill, the Signal Hill Reservoir, and the Dawnview Reservoir. Those are reservoirs that also feed into Bedford View. So when those reservoirs run dry, Bedford View is also very severely affected. And then obviously also the contributing factor that Ekurhuleni is really short of cash, and contractors aren't paid. They've got very, very few people on the ground in actual to assist to get issues addressed. And of course, the residents in the area bear the brunt of all these issues. I mean, last week there was a trip at the Palmit reservoir station, and of course for a few days we had no water again in the area. And of course then also we run into an issue where there are very few water tankers to assist residents, and so of course the community become infuriated, and councillors have to deal with very angry residents continuously because of the water issues we are experiencing within the Germiston constituency. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honourable Clarke, that sent in the petition. May I then ask that we hand over to the Minister for Water and Sanitation. Minister, would you like to speak on this matter?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me appreciate and good morning to you, Chair and members of the Portfolio Committee, let me greet DM Mahlobo on the platform, as well as DM Sitlulu, the Rand Water, as well as Ekurhuleni that is on the platform. Honorable Chair, we have received your invitation for this meeting. Having listened to the petitioner, Honorable Clarke, there are multi-issues that she is raising here. She's raising the issue of old aging water infrastructure, which I've been raising ever since I joined this department to say our mandate goes up to that of water resource. Beyond that, reticulation and supply of water is not the mandate of the Department of Water and Sanitation. And Honorable Clarke is agreeing with me that there are challenges in terms of the decaying infrastructure, which at times they are also, in some areas, they are asbestos. Two, she's raising the issue of short of catch for Ekurhuleni, and surely that is supposed to be responded to by Ekurhuleni. The trap that happened at Palmit electricity, the challenges that were there, you're quite aware of that. He has raised the issue on 4 wards, 36, 92, 39, and Ward 20, which covers Primrose, Germiston, as well as Bedford View. As far as we are concerned, Honorable Chair and dear Honorable Members, the PH from Gauteng DWS, Mr. Maluleke, is here, Rand Water Chairperson and CE are also here because we want to come and account based on this petition, which we understand that petition is one part of ensuring that government accounts at all levels. I must mention that the challenges in Ekurhuleni arise within the context of rapidly growing demand for water in Gauteng, largely due to population and economic growth in the province. Municipalities in Gauteng, Ekurhuleni included, Honorable Chair, are called upon to implement water demand and conservation measures to ensure that all citizens are able to access water, whilst ensuring that there is no wastage of the scarce water resource. Honorable Clarke is saying clean water is running down the street. That is what I've been saying. That is why Gauteng is on water throttling, because we had to assist Gauteng municipalities, all 11 of them. But I must say, Chair, on Sunday, the progress report that we've received from all 11 municipalities of Gauteng is very much impressive. They are now acting on the causal factors of shortage of water, which at times has been because of leaks, because of illegal connections. They've already started, they've detected leaks, they are closing those leaks. The department was also invited to provide an update to this committee on the Nandoni and the complaints that were forwarded to you as the chair and the committee on what transpired after the site was established, that one of building the dam. And I must say here, Chair, compensation to commercial fruit farmers or orchard, as well as compensation of loss of land, outstanding payments, construction of houses, etc. I do have acting DDG that is here, that will also give a full update, because most of this petition is not new. And most of the settlements were done in terms of payment and to those who lost income, payment to the tribal authority. And when we go through the petition, it then becomes clear that at times we are expected to pay twice when we've already paid. But a detailed presentation will be done here, Chair. So we appreciate that you have invited us in this meeting. As my apology was indicated that at 11:30, I will request to leave the platform to join a special cabinet. However, both DMs will be in this meeting. I'm not undermining this meeting, Chair, is that there's a clash of meetings, and that special cabinet is based on the implementation plan on the food-borne diseases. So we have that special meeting at 12 o'clock. Thank you very much, Chair, but we are here on the platform to be able to respond and make a detailed presentation. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Minister. Can I then ask that the department do the presentation for us?
DTG Mabunda.
Good morning, Chairperson, Minister, and DMs, as well as the members of the Portfolio Committee. We have asked our provincial head, Mr. Maluleke, to do the presentation, and may I invite him to then start with the presentation. Sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Maluluka. You're welcome. Please don't do a verbatim on your presentation. You've got 15 minutes to do your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, Chairperson and Minister and Deputy Ministers. All protocol observed. In my presentation, Honorable Chair, I'll start with the water supply situation in Ekurhuleni. The city of Ekurhuleni is the Water Services Authority. And as a Water Services Authority, the city is responsible to supply water to its citizens. Sorry for that, Chairperson. The city of Ekurhuleni purchases treated water from rainwater, and rainwater board abstract the water from the integrated Vaal River system, which consists of a series of dams that are in the system, Chairperson. Rainwater treats the water in the purification system, which is in the Sekerbos and Vereeniging water treatment works and pumping station. And the water is pumped further to Ekurhuleni through two booster pumping station, which is Palmeet and Mapleton. The rainwater Palmeet system is the one that feeds Germiston area, Chair. As Minister has indicated, Chairperson, the demand for water in Gauteng has grown rapidly due to population growth and this important one, Chair, the high water leaks in the municipal systems. Currently, the leaks are sitting at around 44% of the water that is supplied. The department's planners at the time projected that there will be this growth, and they put Lesotho Island Phase 1 project, which was the construction of the Katse Dam and Mohale Dam, and that was completed in 2003. Currently, Honorable Chairperson, there's a 42 billion rand Phase 2 for the Ali Dam, which was due to come online in 2019, but there was some delay for 9 years. Currently, it's under construction with a due date to be completed in 2028, Chairperson. As the situation in the integrated Vaal River system and to ensure continuous water supply to users in times of drought, the department have set limits on the amount of raw water that rainwater can abstract from the integrated Vaal River system. This has been done, Chairperson, because the dam storage level can fall rapidly when there is drought or when there's irresponsible use of abstraction. As a result, Chairperson, the amount of water in the valley put amount a limit to what can be supplied to Gauteng residents. Of late, Honorable Chair, many residents of Gauteng have been experiencing increasing frequent and lengthy interruption to their water supply. And rainwater is currently exceeding its abstraction limit from the Vaal River system due to high demand. As I've indicated, the demand is caused by a number of factors, including the losses, Chairperson. But what we have found out as a department is that rainwater has a very low water losses system, which is less than.
Maduleke, it is about the petition.
I was just wondering, but the presentation is so interesting.
Honorable Reddy, if you need to speak, just show your hand, please. Minister, it's your presentation. You need to deal with this.
I don't hear you. I hear you calling my name, Chair.
Minister, I say this is your presentation from the department. You need to deal with this.
No, Minister, your mic is on and we are hearing you this side when you are speaking. I think they must just address you on that. The presenter must just, yeah, your mic is on. Just mute your mic. Thank you.
Department, can you continue, please?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I was giving this background in order for
Mr. Maluleka, my apology. Honorable Reddy, you raised your hand.
Okay, is this a presentation on the petition, or are we done with the petition now? And this is a new item?
No, this is on the petition.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You may continue.
Honorable Chair, I was just saying many residents of Gauteng, not only Ekurhuleni, have been experiencing increasing frequent and lengthy interruption to their water supply recently. And that is happening under the backdrop that rainwater is already exceeding the volume of water that we have allowed them to abstract from the Vaal River system. This is due to losses, Honorable Chairperson. And when we started all these systems from the department side, we also realized that in rainwater system, from the pumping station to the distribution to their reservoirs, there's less water losses, which is at 5% as compared to what the municipalities are losing at 2%. We have noted that the demand for water from rainwater sometimes exceed the available supply from the integrated Vaal River system. And we have also noted, Chairperson, that rainwater has a 35 billion capital project, which they are preparing to receive additional water from the Lesotho Island Phase 2, so that they increase the water supply to Gauteng. Those projects are ongoing, Chairperson. The demand for water supply relationship in Gauteng is very tight, and the system is vulnerable to disruption caused by load shedding, when there's electromechanical breakdowns, and when there is vandalism or theft of infrastructure. Chairperson, we have noted a number of cases where water infrastructures have been damaged or stolen, and that have got a severe impact in terms of supply to water to the communities. What we have also noted, Honorable Chair, is that water is usually gravity fed from municipal reservoirs to household. And Honorable Clarke have indicated that some of the reservoirs in Germiston have got a low water level currently. And as a result, there's not enough pressure to put water to high-lying areas. And that affects the disruption. And in some cases, Honorable Chair, the municipalities are relying on direct supply from rainwater pressure, which when they've got a problem, Honorable Chair, that supply is not available for whatever reason. Communities are immediately affected, Honorable Chair. I've also talked about the supply side, which we need to do something about it, Honorable Chair. I think what we also need to look at is to look at other water sources, which is groundwater, or we do some kind of rainwater harvesting, or we reuse the water. You will know, Honorable Chair, that there's a lot of water from our wastewater systems that are returned back to the system and not used for economic reasons. And we also need to ensure that our municipalities might improve their performance in their distribution systems, Chairperson. I've indicated that there's a lot of losses due to old infrastructure and other things. So the municipalities need to deal with that and also increase their storage capacity in terms of the reservoirs and their pumping stations, because water is pumped from one side to the other, as rainwater is also doing. And of key importance, Honorable Chair, is that the municipalities must repair leak timeously. What we notice as a department, and we receive from number of water users across the province, is that when there are leaks in the municipal systems, those leaks takes a lot of time and they are losing a lot of water. With the high water demand in Gauteng, we're also working with the municipalities to ensure that they impose water restrictions and also implement punitive tariff for excessive water uses and disconnect illegal connection. I think Honorable Clarke have also indicated that some of the reservoirs in Germiston, they cannot get full because of illegal connection that is happening. And we call upon the city of Ekurhuleni, like any other cities that they have done similar things, to deal with such kind of situations. Honorable Chair, I think you are aware of what was happening in Mamelodi insofar as illegal connection, Chairperson. One other thing that we are also dealing with in Gauteng, Honorable Chair, there's high water usage per capita per day, which is 279, which is way above the average of 173 liters per capita per day. And we believe that must be managed by reducing physical losses in municipal distribution system and reducing physical losses on private property and also improving the efficiency of water use. After we have realized all this, working with all the municipalities in Gauteng, Honorable Chair, the department have established a platform for water secure Gauteng, which was put by the department in partnership with the World Bank 2030 Water Resources Group, Rainwater, and Gauteng municipalities, civil society, and business. What we want to achieve here, Honorable Chair, is we have noticed that there's no efficient use of water in Gauteng. There's high water usages, and we need to go out and do broad communication in consultation with all the stakeholders that I've mentioned, so that people in Gauteng use water sparingly and less. You might have realized, Honorable Chair, when you get to Cape Town, in the city of Cape Town, to the airport, the amount of water that you use in the bathroom is far different from the amount of water that you are using in OR Tambo International, because of the volume and the way the businesses have tried to address the water issues in Cape Town. We as the department were working towards achieving such kind of reduction from public facilities, from irrigation systems, from the malls and all over the place, and also broadly communicate with our communities to reduce water use up until the 2028 and beyond, because if we don't use water sustainably, we know South Africa is a water scarce country, Chairperson. I think on that note, it will be the submission from the department. I thank you. Over to you, TJ.
Thank you very much for that, Honorable Reddy. We maybe you are, well, because you are new, let me just explain quickly. We will ask questions. Each member will get the opportunity to ask questions, and then the questions will be answered immediately when we get to questions. And if you're not satisfied with a question, you can do a follow-up question. That is the way we deal with this. If it's not questions that you are asking, I see you have put down your hand. So we will go to each and every member that will ask 3 questions or 4 questions, and then get response immediately. And then I would ask whether you are happy. This is just for clarity for all other members that is on the platform and for the first time. Minister, would you like to add something to that recommendation? Honorable Reddy, would you like to say something quickly that is not related to any questions?
No, sorry, Chair, you're not being very clear. What I thought the presentation was over, and now it's time for members to contribute and comment and question. So
No.
are you going to let us know when that time is going to come? I'm
Yeah,
raising
it
my hand
will come.
because I
It
want
will
to
come. I will
engage with the
inform
presentation.
each member will put up their hands, and then we will deal with each member. And my apology, it is your first meeting, and you would not know. Honorable Matlala.
No, Chairperson, it's a clarity seeking question. I just want to check if Ekurhuleni is here.
Yeah, we're going to get the presentation now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I think we need to get all the presentation before we start
Yes,
asking.
100%. Thank you, honorable
So,
member.
Chair, Chair, that was my point. I just felt that we need to hear the response from Ekurhuleni as well, and I'm glad that they are here to respond and then raise our questions afterwards. That was the point I wanted to make.
Yeah, 100%. No problem. Minister, you have concluded on the department's presentation. Would you like Rand Water to add something to that, or can I go to Ekurhuleni?
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I will suggest through your leadership that allow Rand Water, because our presentation as the department and Rand Water is interlinked. You may allow Rand Water before Ekurhuleni. Thank you.
Not a problem. Rand Water, I see the CEO is on. Mr. Musai, would you like to continue?
Yes, good morning, Chair and honorable board members. The chairperson of the board is here. Thank you.
Could the chairperson then continue? Thank you.
Good morning, Chair, and I want to piggyback on the protocols that have already been observed. We just want to also confirm with what Ms. Clarke said, that the petition is old, and that at some point some of the issues were raised, but the situation is not improving. That's what she had said. We, as Rand Water, I think the department has indicated that we provide bulk. We don't do reticulation. But I think whatever we have done was to continuously interact with the respective municipalities, including Ekurhuleni, to see if we can assist them in terms of some of the challenges that they have. We have also had a recent meeting with Ekurhuleni to discuss some of the challenges that they have in the system, and that some of them have been clearly articulated by Dr. Maluleka, which we concur with. In terms of what we are doing in preparation for 2030, in terms of our strategic plans, we have brought in 150 million liters of water into the system last year on the 31st of August. Prior to that, we brought in a 220 post-tension reservoir in Vlakfontein, which is the biggest of its kind in the world, as part of our plans. We have already done major maintenance in June, July this year, so that we reduce the challenges that could be there in the system. But I'll then request, I've just highlighted that from our point of view, there's a lot of work that we are doing, but not alone with municipalities. In anticipation of challenges of high demand season, in and around July, we requested the assistance of the minister and also the assistance of the Gauteng province. And we have what you call an IGR, or intergovernmental relations meeting, on a weekly basis, where municipalities report, and when there are challenges, we attend to those challenges if they are on our side, or we assist where we can. We also have an operational meeting that the group chief executive also deal with, where we meet with municipalities, in particular metros, on a daily basis, or as and when each one of the metros have an issue that needs to be dealt with, in order to deal with the challenges that could be there in the metros. With your permission, Honorable Chair, I'll request the group chief executive to add more detail if I've left anything. Thank you. Chief Executive Tatemsai.
Thank you.
Yeah, through you, Chair, I think at high level, we are covered. Some of the detailed matters will be responded to at the great level of detail in Ekurhuleni's presentation. But yes, I think it is important to indicate that on a daily basis, we look at the system in terms of system input, and the technical team then divert water to where it's needed. The current supply in Gauteng, as the minister has indicated, has improved in terms of consumption in the last 2 weeks. And we hope that the water conservation and demand management measures that are going to be implemented elsewhere in the system will ensure that more water is directed towards Ekurhuleni. At this point in time, Ekurhuleni, it's abstracting at about 1,000, which is within their license. What we do on a daily basis, we check those reservoirs and make sure that they get sufficient water. With that, Chair, I think I will leave it here. Thank you.
Thank you, Rand Water. Mr. Musai, can I now request that Ekurhuleni do their presentation? We will start off. Is the Mayor of Ekurhuleni attending this meeting?
No, thank you very much, Chair. It's the MMC of Water and Sanitation that is attending on behalf of the Mayor. And let me also greet yourself, honorable members, the Minister. I see she's still here, Deputy Ministers. And let me say protocol is observed. No, thank you very much, Chair, for the opportunity that is granted to us as the city of Ekurhuleni to come and respond to the petition raised by the honorable member with regards to the water challenges faced in the city of Germiston and the surrounding areas. Before, Chair, I open up, I am here with the HOD, the Head of Department of City of Ekurhuleni Water and Sanitation. I would like to say that I think the presentation of the department covered a few areas as well as Rand Water. However, I heard in the presentation by the petitioner saying that the infrastructure, the Russell Road Reservoir, is stopped due to funding. However, that infrastructure, Chair, is complete, 100% complete, and we have been in communication with Rand Water. They are currently busy with the connection point, which is it will be covered in the presentation. So I just wanted to highlight that the Russell Road Reservoir is indeed complete. And as highlighted also by Rand Water, that we are withdrawing below our license, which is quite good, especially at this crisis time that is faced by the province of Gauteng. But if there are anything else that I would need to address, Chair, after the presentation by the head of department, I will come in after that and maybe after the members have raised questions. But with your permission and through you, Chair, let me allow Mr. Masego, the head of Department of Water and Sanitation, to specifically speak to the issues that were raised by the petitioner. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Councillor. And yes, you can continue. Do you want to present your document to everybody here?
Correct, Chair. It is basically a response to the petition and to give a highlight on what are the current challenges and what are the measures that are being put in place and what are the future solutions that are provided by the city of Ekurhuleni and Rand Water. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. You can continue.
Good morning, Chairperson, honorable members of parliament, honorable minister, deputy ministers, my MMC chairperson of Rand Water, the CEO of Rand Water, DG for Water and Sanitation, all protocol observed. Thank you for this opportunity to respond to this petition. Chairperson, I'll be sharing this presentation. I'm not sure whether it's visible on the site.
No, it's not visible.
Can you see it now?
I think it's coming up now, yes. Let's give it a...
Okay, thank you, Chair.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, firstly, the presentation will be dealing with the systems of rainwater. We'll be looking at the challenges experienced, temporal measures that the city has put in place, and permanent solutions. The petitioners, they touch on areas that are supplied by Russell Reservoir Supply Zone, Churchill Supply, which is a pumping system, the Sunny Ridge Supply Zone, and also Primrose and Signal Hill supply zones. I will firstly start with the main contention, as the petitioner have indicated. The Russell Road Reservoir, we've got currently an existing 18 megaliter reservoir, which is operating at 10% due to peak. And we've got an additional 20.5 megaliter reservoir that is completed, unlike the report, but cannot be tested due to lack of water from the connection from rainwater that will allude later. So what we're saying there, Chairperson, is that in total, in that area, with the new reservoir that we've built, we'll have about 40.5 megaliters of supply. And if you look at the areas of Lambton, Elsbeck, Albemarle, Denwidi, and Union, and Small Farmer Castle, and Rodekop, you've got about 70% of the supply there from fed from industries and 30% residential. And just to say, Chairperson, that we concur with the petitioner to say that for more than 35 days, they did not have water, but you must qualify that to say that their water comes only very late at night when there is off-peak, because there we've got major industries that are wet industries that during this time they're on peak supply. Nevertheless, we've put a schedule that on weekends, the water is going to be given to residents, and also during the day, we're communicating with the industries that we're going to close your water so that you share the water equitably with the residents, because the industries are located at the lower lying area, so they draw all the water. So, Chairperson, and also to emphasize that the mayor and MMC Msane and the ward councillor, they've addressed the community, the affected and impacted community of Denwidi, Albemarle, and the surrounding areas, and presented the temporal and the permanent solution. So what we're presenting here, we've also taken to the communities. As I've said, Chairperson, that there the demand zone exceed the capacity, resulting in the reservoir level operating below 10%. When operating below 10%, the industries will get water, but the residential areas will not get water because they only get water when the reservoir is operating above 10%. And the temporal measure we do when there is system failure or there's a high demand on this system, we supply the area with water tankers in the routes that are specified in the presentation. Chairperson, the permanent solution for this, as I've alluded, we've got a new, I'd like to emphasize, we've got a new completed Russell Road Reservoir that we've built, the 22.5 megaliter reservoir. And that reservoir, the only challenge is that we applied to rainwater in 2017 for the connection, and the connection was rescheduled to be done in 2020, and in 2020 was rescheduled again to be done in 2022. So the issue of Russell Reservoir, it should have been resolved, but rainwater is now on site doing that connection. And the most important thing about this connection is that this connection is dedicated to the Russell Road Reservoir, the new reservoir, while the other connection, the old connection, it also supplies the areas of Albertine along the way, hence is not getting enough supply. So the permanent solution as per rainwater communication to the city was that They're going to complete the new connection in April 2025. Having been in the meeting with the executive mayor, the chair, the CEO of the board, and the MMC, they indicated that they are fast-tracking this connection to be completed earlier. So the sooner this connection is completed, then it means that Russell Road area, the area that is struggling a lot currently, will find a permanent solution. Then the other area, Chairperson, is the area of Churchill, also from the Palmit system. I must say, Chairperson, that the main reason these areas are struggling is due to the geographic location of the city of Ekurhuleni. These areas are very higher up. So on the Palmit system, Tshwane and the other areas of Joburg, they will get water first, they get full, then the system is going to push back. So when there are major interruptions, it takes a long time for this system to recover. But on this system, currently we've got a 3.4 megaliter size reservoir. We've got an additional 15 megaliter that is a preliminary design stage that will assist in ensuring longer storage during interruptions. And the area is dependent on the rainwater meter 206, and the street that is suffering on this area a lot is Association Street. So when there's an interruption, we put a tanker there. We put 2 tankers in that area. And the other challenge there that when we've got an emergency interruption, the area takes longer to recover. And basically, the new megaliter reservoir that we've planned is going to assist because we're going to have 36-hour storage. When there's an interruption for 24 hours, the community won't even know that there was interruption due to the storage that we're going to be building as a city. The other area, Chairperson, this area is very higher up in our network. When there's an interruption, it takes longer to recover. There it's supplied by Windsor Pump Station, and we've got an existing 1.1 tower, which will be replaced in future by 2.4 megaliter tower. So as a city, we're designing infrastructure to make our system resilient, to be able to take some shock on short-term interruptions on the system. I've alluded there, Chairperson, that currently we've got a 1.1 megaliter and the area is higher up, but we're going to put a new reservoir there. So the same thing here, the temporal supply, when there is pump failure, we supply with water tankers. The new replacement tower is at the design stage, the 2.4 megaliters in that area. And the other area, Chairperson, is Primrose and Signal Hill Reservoir. For the city of Ekurhuleni, we get water also from the same Palmit system. The existing reservoir is 40 megaliters, and basically, and Signal Hill is 30 megaliters. And basically, there we've got, if we supplied well with water, we've got more than 36-hour storage. So in this area, Chairperson, with proper volumes, we've got enough reservoirs to cushion us. But due to the high demand on the entire rainwater system, this area is getting strained. And I've said it's a higher lying area. If there's an interruption, they take longer to recover also. And Primrose is 40 megaliters. And basically, the Signal Hill is operating at an acceptable level of 80. You can see, Chairperson, you've got a 40 megaliter, which is Primrose, but the operational level is 10% due to the system being strained upstream of the city of Ekurhuleni, like Joburg and Tshwane. So this reservoir is got enough storage, but it does not get enough water. As Maluleka said, that there's high demand on the system, but Signal Hill is getting enough water due to its aptitude level. So, Chairperson, there, what we're saying is that the area is a pumping area. And when there is an interruption, a temporal solution there, we supply the area with roving water tankers. And then the permanent system is to ensure that the Primrose reservoir is getting enough water because the infrastructure is there. In summary, Chairperson, the city is able to sufficiently supply the Germiston provided that there are no disruption from the Palmit system. The Russell Road is struggling with supply to high-lying areas due to contentious low levels. The challenge is to be resolved once rainwater new meter which is under construction, is completed, together with the remaining associated pipe work. So the City of Ekurhuleni communicates all interruptions reported from the bulk supplier or its own failures through the call center, and also bulk SMSs and the ward councillors. And we've got various capital projects to address these challenges, as I've presented, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. MMC, would you like to add something to this presentation?
No, thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. I can come in after the members with your permission.
Thank you very much. Before I give members to ask questions, can I ask that the Honourable Clarke, would you like to speak on this before I give the opportunity to committee members to ask questions? Would you like to add something, Honourable Clarke?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Yes, I have just got a message back from the councillor in Ward 39 in terms of the Russell Road reservoir, because I visited that reservoir with her. She has advised me that they are going to restart working on that reservoir and it should be completed by December. But I must say to you, Chairperson, the presentations are really lovely, but the story on the ground is the issue where we see unbelievable amount of burst pipes, water leaks that take long time to be repaired, and the loss and volume of that water. And the communication between Rand Water Board and Ekurhuleni back to the councillors, where the councillors have to communicate back to residents, is extremely poor at times. And that is something that really needs to be looked at in terms of communication. And then, of course, the massive leak at the Churchill Reservoir in Primrose. That is a Rand Water Board issue, and it's been running for more than 2 years. So I suggest Rand Water actually go and look at that issue that I've raised once again, and that it is repaired. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honourable Clarke. Honourable members, it is time now for you to ask questions. What I would ask is that we first round there's 3 questions. May I ask Honourable Reddy, I'm going to allow Honourable Matlala to go before you so that you could just get the gist of how we deal with this, if you don't mind, if you, and then it will make this running smooth. Honourable Matlala and then Honourable Reddy. So Honourable Matlala, you can continue with your questions. Can we go first round of 3 questions, please?
No, thanks so much, Chairperson. Let me take an opportunity and greet all members of the Portfolio Committee present in this meeting today. Extend my greetings to the honorable members from Ekurhuleni Municipality, the MMC, together with the HOD. Further extend my greetings, Minister of Water and Sanitation, the deputies, and also Rand Water, the petitioners, and let me just say all protocols observed. No, Chairperson, I'm not going to ask questions today. I don't have questions. I just want to address few issues that I think they can take us somewhere if we do focus on them. Chairperson, first and foremost, we must address the misdirection of this petition. It is unacceptable that we are not engaging all relevant parties in this discussion. Working in silos, particularly without the involvement of the Portfolio Committee of Cooperative Governments and Traditional Affairs, will not yield effective solutions.
We must unite our efforts and ensure that all stakeholders are brought to the table to facilitate a comprehensive response on these challenges. I think we need to be smart in terms of addressing issues like this one. Municipalities are under COCTA. COCTA is not here. Tomorrow we're going to be hearing other stories somewhere when we had such an important meeting. Chairperson, I heard about the Russell Road Reservoir, and I think is the one that is giving problems there in Ekurhuleni. And the MMC have addressed, and together with the HOD, the progress up to so far. Where are they? Chairperson, while this is a problem, and then we understand that it's only operating at 10% capacity, primarily serving industrial areas at the expense of residential communities. This inequitable distribution of resources is a direct consequence of poor planning and outdated infrastructure design. Historically, decisions made without considering community needs have led us to this dire situation, where high-lying residential areas are left without water, while industries receive preferential treatment. Chairperson, we have witnessed these similar failures in Ekurhuleni. I'm not talking about now, I'm talking about the past years. From 2019, we've been talking about these issues. This issue is an issue of failure to plan properly by the government that was sitting during that time. But I don't want to put blames because we are now sitting in a situation where we must resolve issues. There was once a construction of a water treatment plant on wetlands in Ekurhuleni, and a school built under inadequate conditions. There was also a water treatment plant that was built in Ekurhuleni on a wetland. So those are the issues in the previous terms that we're dealing with. You can see here there's a problem of planning, because now the industries are getting water, people are not getting water. It was the people that planned this thing before that make us to be sitting here today speaking about these issues of people not getting water. So we need to deal with that thing for the future so that the other communities out there, they don't suffer the same consequences. To be honest, it is not only Ekurhuleni that is suffering, and I'm happy when Rand Water and the department was presenting, they spoke about the whole Gauteng. There's a problem of water, the way they were planned before. We have also evidence, the issue of Hammanskraal, where people were drinking water, dirty, contaminated water. The issue of the war on leaks is a problem everywhere in the country because of the infrastructure that have collapsed. Someone also raised that the pipes are asbestos. It is happening also in the Northern Cape. The EFF just brought all these issues in Parliament that we need to make sure that we deal with these things. Not so we'll end up blaming each other as different stakeholders or different spheres of local government. Let's assist one another and remove one another in this mess. Not so we are not going to deliver for the people. Lastly, Chairperson, in light of these issues, I propose that the city of Ekurhuleni must adopt a more emphatic approach, one that places itself in the shoes of its residents. Immediate steps must be taken to rectify these injustices. The city must ensure that that water supply is allocated fairly between industries and the residential areas. High-lying areas should not also be neglected. They deserve equal access to this vital resource. And Chairperson, we need to establish regular forums where residents can voice their concerns directly to the municipal leaders. Their experiences and insights are invaluable in shaping effective policies. Chairperson, as we move forward, let us embrace as well.
Honorable member.
Moving forward, Ekurhuleni Municipality. Hello?
You can continue, Honorable Member.
Chairperson?
You might continue, Honorable Member. You were silent for a while.
Okay, I'm saying it is time for us to rise as an united front against these systematic failures. We will not allow our community to suffer due to historical negligence or mismanagement. Together, we will demand justice for every resident who have been denied their right to clean water. Let's commit ourselves to this cause with passion and determination. The EFF stands ready to lead this fight until every voice is heard, every need is met, and every community receive its fair share of resources. Thanks so much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. That was more or less a statement that's been made. Honourable Member, I will come back to Honourable Reddy. Can I ask that Honourable Mutala made reference to the planning, that is a problem. Can I maybe ask Ekurhuleni whether they could speak to, because I have mentioned that they are looking at planning, can they speak to the planning and the way forward? And maybe just come back on the Russell Road Reservoir that was also mentioned now by Honourable Member, that, and I think the Honourable Clarke said it's not complete. You have said it's complete. Maybe just clarify on that. If Ekurhuleni could maybe just answer on that. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Chair. I don't know if you want us to deal question by question, or we can summarize all the questions from the members.
So, no, you're going to answer those questions, and per member, we will allow you now to answer on those 3 questions quickly, or 2 questions.
Okay. No, the Russell Road, Chair, is complete. However, you cannot supply water unless you do a reservoir testing. And for you to do a reservoir testing, you need to put water in the reservoir, which is what Rand Water is busy with now. Once the connection of Rand Water is done, which the anticipated time was April, but with communication with Rand Water, they are trying to speed up that connection to March. Once that connection is done, then the testing of the reservoir will be done, and we can supply water to the communities. But the construction of the reservoir, Chair, is 100% complete. However, in a project planning, you cannot say 100% complete until you hand over to the client. And you can only hand over to the client once the structure has been tested and it's serving the purpose that it's supposed to be serving. But the construction, we can confirm, Chair, that it's complete 100%. We're just now doing the water connection with Rand Water. And with regards to the planning, the real reason why the Russell Road was constructed was because we saw there's a high demand of sharing water between industries and the communities. This is why then most of the presentation, if you check, Russell Road Reservoir is going to give a balance between the industries, and the industries will be supplied from one reservoir, and also the communities will be supplied from one reservoir. And one thing that we need to correct, Chair, is that we're not prioritizing industries as the city of Ekurhuleni. The industries, when there is not enough supply to supply the communities and themselves, industries are also throttled, meaning that they do not get the pressure in bars that they are supposed to get in a normal circumstances, as much as also the communities are also throttled, meaning the pressure of the water that is supplied between the industries and the communities is not the pressure that is the desired pressure that you would normally use. And industries are in a bylaw, Chair, that says to them, in an instance where you are not getting supply from the municipality, you must have a backup of about 48 hours. Which you as an industry, you can supply yourself for us to allow the reservoirs to build up the pressure. So those are part of the planning that the HOD has spoken to. And if you can check in each and every presentation that the HOD has highlighted per area, the city of Ekurhuleni is constructing or in planning phase of building backup reservoirs or water towers with pump stations, especially for the high-lying areas, because high-lying areas do require pump stations, and that is one of the planning phases that Ekurhuleni is doing. And we can confirm, Chair, that in most of the areas, like your areas like Tembisa, there are pump stations that have been constructed and water towers that have been constructed and are ready to be assembled in the near future. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. Honourable Tlala, I know you didn't ask a question on here, but I worked out 2 questions for you, but are you happy with the response on that? Honourable Tlala?
Very happy, Chairperson. Thanks so much. Let's push, Councillor. Let's make sure that we provide services to the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Matlala. Honourable Reddy, would you continue?
Thank you very much. I will follow your instructions and follow the cue from the Honourable previous speaker. Let me begin by greeting all the members that are present, including the Minister, Deputy Ministers, the officials from Rand Water, Ekurhuleni, the department, as well as fellow colleagues. Good morning to all of you. Let me begin by thanking the petitioner for bringing this matter in this particular way to Parliament. I think it's an excellent opportunity for us to be able to ensure that other communities who are seriously disadvantaged and who don't have water at all, that they also use this avenue to be able to raise these issues. Now, as the MK party, we have restructured our committees and membership to committees because we want to ensure integration. And that's the reason why I was brought to this portfolio, because I also serve on COCTA as well as Public Works. And all 3 portfolios are actually related. Last week, we went on an oversight visit to COCTA, visiting municipalities in Gauteng. And the common cry from all these municipalities was around water. The water crisis in Germiston, Chair, as raised by Honourable Horn's petition, is not a unique one. It is part of a broader national catastrophe that affects not just residents, but also the economic viability of municipalities and businesses across South Africa. The business model is being affected. You see, municipalities make money out of the sale of water. When we restrict the sale of water, you find that their business, their income to the municipality is affected. So we have heard today about water tankers and efforts to increase supply. But let's be honest, colleagues, these are nothing more than band-aid solutions. What we're doing is crisis management. We're not doing crisis resolution. The real elephant in the room, Chair, is the issue that no one seems willing to confront, and that is non-revenue water or water losses. In Gauteng, the average water loss sits at an alarming 40%. In Durban, it's over 55%. And this is water that never reaches households or businesses, that's lost through aging infrastructure, leaking pipes, faulty meters, and outright theft. Let me put this in simple terms. Imagine a bucket, right, with multiple holes in it. What we're doing is, instead of fixing the holes, we keep pouring more water into the bucket. We are going and getting more water, like we heard from Rand Water, 130 million liters or something that they brought additional, just bringing in more water. So how can we celebrate when Rand Water reports a minimal water losses of 5%, while municipalities lose over 40%? This surely cannot be a victory. It is a glaring indictment of municipal mismanagement and not dealing with the root cause of the problem, which is water losses or non-revenue water. Chair, the water crisis has also become a lucrative business for the water mafia that thrives on disruptions. Deputy Minister David Mashlobo, he's familiar with this because he was here from the previous administration, and he knows that he'll be able to offer his insight into how the water mafia actually go about destroying infrastructure so that they can continue doing work for government. These syndicates, they profit from water tankers, illegal connections, and backdoor deals, while our residents queue for hours for a basic human right. This is exploitation, and it must be stopped. If we are serious about addressing this crisis, we must launch a War on Leaks campaign. Now, some of you will say, but we've done this before. I believe that it was not successful. I think that the minister needs to give a new thrust to this issue of water losses, where every municipality will begin by quantifying, appointing consultants to come up with a clear report that points to exactly how these water losses are occurring and what plans they have in place to reduce water losses. And we should set that as targets within officials' KPIs. And once that's done, if a target says it's acceptable, we accept 10% water losses, we must ensure that in a municipality where water losses is 15%, targets will not be met and officials will not get their bonuses. When you start doing that, then you will start seeing how drastically these things will change. We need to urgently, Chair, invest in the repair and maintenance of aging infrastructure. So some will say, but there's no funding. I want you to look at Checkers. In all municipalities, there's a Checkers. The Checkers CEO is one of the highest paid CEOs in the world, right here in South Africa. Checkers profits, which you see on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, exceeds billions for a year. Why is it that we can't get these companies, including mining companies, to come on board? And I urge the minister, let's go and meet these people. They must come on board and start investing in fixing our water infrastructure, ensuring that water leaks are minimized, so that in the long term, we are able to ensure that the water that we are delivering to our residents is not lost. And secondly, we are able to share the water among more people. We need to audit and replace faulty meters. That should also be a campaign initiated by national government. We should strengthen enforcement against water theft, and we should ensure that municipalities adopt water loss reduction targets, as I mentioned, and that they are held accountable for the targets. Honorable members and chairperson and distinguished members seated here today, water is not just a resource. It is a life itself. Yet our approach to this crisis treats it as expendable. Fixing Germiston's water crisis and others like it requires a shift from reactive crisis management to proactive, sustainable solutions. And until we tackle water losses head on, we will remain trapped in a cycle of scarcity, mismanagement, and exploitation. Finally, as the MK party, and I'd like to see all political parties following in the suit, we will not stand by while this precious resource is wasted and stolen, and our paying residents are left without water for days on end. It's simply unacceptable, and we should not, as members of this portfolio committee, be able to sleep well at night, knowing that our people have to endure such torture without having a precious resource like water. We demand that there's immediate action, not just for Germiston, but for the entire nation. It's time now for us to act. Let's bring the water boards together. Let's bring all these agencies, the Water Research Commission, let's bring them all together under one roof, and let's treat this matter as a matter of urgency. To make this point, December is the time where most communities are affected because the pressure on the systems increases because everybody is at home. We as MPs, we're not going to be going on holiday. This is the time we should be doing oversight visits. We should be going to Durban, we should be going to Gauteng, we should be going to Germiston, meeting residents during December. We get paid to do this, that's our job, and that's what we'd like to see happening during the December period. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honourable Reddy. I would ask the Minister to respond because it's a general statement that you've made. But I would once again just plead with the members of this committee that, and Honourable already was not here since day one, that although you represent...
Sorry, Chair, let me interrupt because you've said this the third time already. You said I've not been here before. You said I must follow the previous speaker. All right.
No,
I'm still
Honourable
trying to
Reddy.
understand how things are done in this committee.
No,
So you're
Honourable
not giving me
Reddy.
clear instructions about how it is done. So I folled the previous speaker. So can you be clear
Honourable
and
Reddy,
specific?
I am not complaining.
No. I
Honourable
understand
Reddy.
English very well. Ek verstaan Engels. Ek praat Engels ook. So
Yeah,
ek kan
Honourable
ook
Reddy,
Afrikaans praat.
I am making a general statement. I allowed you to give me the opportunity as well. So what the committee has in the past and in previous 5th and 6th Parliament, the committee has agreed that although you come from a political party, which you are elected, we serve all the people of South Africa, irrespective of which party you are. I'm just making this statement in general to say that we are here serving a political party, but from a political party, but we in general serve the people of South Africa, irrespective of which party you represent. And that is a general statement made to all members. So if you just give us the opportunity and see how it works, Honourable Reddy, I'm not, there's nothing wrong with what you've said, it's 100%. I just feel that we should try and keep politics out of water. We've got the obligation as we are elected to serve the people of South Africa. Minister, could you continue on the remarks made by Honourable Reddy? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. You see, Chair, thank you very much for that order. Honourable Reddy, with due respect, he has just joined the committee. He will learn how other things are done in the committee. Fortunately, Honourable Reddy come with information because he served in Ungeni Utugela water port. So the issues of water he does understand. But now the fact here we are on the petition, we must address what is the content of the petition. All what he is saying, it is really a good point that there is non-revenue water. And this is what we've been raising all along. I'm happy that today it is sinking to members that we've been saying municipality must assist in terms of closing the leaks. And that is not, you see, the leaks that might be happening around the dam are not the leaks that are happening in where the communities are supposed to get water. So we have agreed with municipalities, especially those in Gauteng, and I can confirm even Ekurhuleni gave a very good report in terms of how they are attending to that. They are now dictating where the leaks are. They are coming up with a program on how to close the leaks. It cannot be us who go and close the leaks. It is not our responsibility. I think, as I always say, without being arrogant, to say this is an independent sphere of government, and we cannot be expected as Department of Water and Sanitation to go and play the role that is supposed to be played by municipality. So as we move along, we'll all understand one another's mandate and respect those mandates, that we cannot overreach from our mandate and start going to municipalities, and that war on leaks that was once started, it was not implemented correctly because municipalities were not taken on board, because the leaks are happening where municipalities are, where households are. So I think, Chair, there was no question as such from Honourable Reddy except to air what is what we all know as this department, as this portfolio committee, that we've been raising this, that today water boards are owed because, as the petitioner said, that there is clean processed water that is running down the street. That is not Department of Water. So that is why municipalities are gradually moving towards that. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Reddy. Although you,
Sorry,
Honourable
I
Reddy,
have to respond.
Honourable Reddy, let's just stop this now. Honourable Reddy, now you listen to me. please.
I beg your pardon?
I will recognize you and then you speak. If
I
you
beg
don't
do
want
not
to
speak
adhere
to
to
me in
this,
that
then
way.
we've got to deal with this
Do
matter.
not speak to me in that way. Do you
But
understand me?
you are interrupting
You do not
the
speak to me
committee.
in that way. I'm not your boy. I'm not your garden boy.
I am
Understand
not
that.
saying that, Honorable Reddy, but you are
You
not
speak to me with
adhering
respect.
to the rules of this committee. I will give you ample opportunity. I was naming you now to a response to what the minister has said. But you are continuously, other members have their hands up and they wait their turn. So I plead with you very nicely. Let's adhere to this. The minister, you made a statement. The minister has responded to that. And I will give you now the opportunity if you want to say something in that. But please, let's adhere to what this committee has agreed upon. And you are a new member. And we're not going to say that for any longer. But that is how we deal with this now for a few months. And it's working 100% for this committee. And you've got now a minute to respond to what the minister has said. I'll give you that opportunity now.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Chair, I'm a bit disappointed in the minister's response when she says that it is not the water boards or the department's responsibility to deal with the issue of non-revenue water. And this is the mistake we make. The issue of saving water and the issue of dealing with water losses should never be the responsibility of only municipalities. Where municipalities do not have the expertise, it should be the water boards that should be assisting them. But what has happened today is water boards have become a business. They're not concerned about water that's being lost in systems. As long as they're able to sell the volume of water to municipalities, they're able to make their profit to run their business. They forget about the fact that precious water is being lost in the ground. Now, I would like us to adopt a different approach, not the approach that the minister is alluding to, but an approach that says, let's work as a team. COCTA, together with Water Affairs, together with Public Works, must work together as a team with the sole purpose of saving water. When the water is saved, then you'll find that everybody will have uninterrupted water. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. I think you misunderstood the minister, but I will allow the minister to speak for herself, and then it would. Minister?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I like the energy. Unfortunately, misunderstood me. What I'm saying is that, for instance, in Gauteng, we already have awareness on what must be done. We have identified 6 points on a 6-point plan on what municipalities are expected to do to save water. And on our side, what is that we can do? But Honorable Reddy cannot frog jump us to go and close the leaks. I think that energy must just be contained. Usaba right, Putiman. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Moore.
Already.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for the presentations to the department, the Rand Water, and the City of Ekurhuleni. Greetings to the Minister and yourself, and to my colleagues and everyone on the call. Chair, 5 questions. I'm going to ask 3 of them relatively shortly. But I would also like to say I have been on the ground doing oversight in this area. I've been on the ground multiple times where the situation has got worse. Although I will say that it's interesting that last week this issue continued, but this week, due to moving water around just ahead of a committee meeting, suddenly there is water available in those communities. This type of games isn't great. If there's solutions, they need to be communicated clearly, as hasn't happened. I'd also like to say that this type of outages and the lack of communication that I'm going to highlight has a real effect. I've been brought on site multiple times, not just by Honourable Clarke, but also by councillors Ivan Naidu and Jean Ingram, who have brought me on site to affected residents, to the reservoirs, multiple times because of how long this issue has been going on and the major impact it has on their residents, trying to just get some forward movement. So I'm glad to see there seems to be some forward movement on the cards. But my first three questions in this section is going to be, first, Chair, it would be really useful when we're having these type of sessions, when we've got a specific area, if we can get an actual idea of the supply versus demand. A lot of the communication that comes out says that there is low supply. I think at the moment, Joburg is communicating about a low inflow to the commando system, which is a major issue. In this presentation, the COE has said Russell Reservoir is struggling due to continuous low levels. That's not actually helpful. What would be great is to know that Rand Water provides 30 megalitres today, which is the agreed upon level. It is providing the 30 megalitres. However, the demand from the system is higher. The demand from the COE level is higher, which is creating the difference in supply. That type of information would actually allow us to understand where the challenge is. And I understand people don't like that information because it does make it very clear where the problem lies. But when we have a specific petition on a specific area, on a specific set of supply, that would be very useful for us to actually understand how to move forward on this. The second thing is in terms of communication on this issue, the Honourable Clarke made the point, but I think it's clear that it hasn't been sufficient. I know we heard that there was, this has been going on for 35 days, but I think the city of Ekurhuleni has put out 4 pieces of communication on this issue on their Twitter, for example, or the X, whatever you call it now, in the last 35 days on a major outage affecting tens of thousands of residents plus industrial areas. Communication like this, specifically as has been highlighted, the communication linked between Rand Water and the city of Ekurhuleni needs to pick up. And I understand Rand Water's policy is that the city needs to communicate this issue, and that's fine, but someone has to communicate effectively and regularly. Joburg Water does daily updates on the issue. Their communication also has serious problems because it's a lot of copy-paste, but at least it's daily on serious issues like that. It would be great to see COE lifting up their communication levels. And finally, I wanted to say, Chair, the DWS presentation was not useful. We have received that presentation. We have heard about the Gauteng water crisis. The minister has spoken eloquently on it. Yourself, Chair, you've spoken on it. The Honourable Mahlala has spoken on it. We all know about the Gauteng water crisis. Given that this matter has been on the cards for many months now, this presentation coming in, I'd hope that they would have done some more to get more specific information about the challenges regarding Germiston and their water problems, because this isn't a once-off water problem. This isn't a once-off outage. It has been going on for years. And it would be really useful if they use the context that they have to build something more than a generic presentation on the broader scope of issues, because again, we have touched on that quite well on a number of issues. If there was something new, I wouldn't be making this comment, but we've got a lot of the same, and I would hope for more from the department with their context. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Ekurhuleni, would you like to respond on the communication that has been mentioned by the Honourable Member?
No, thank you very much, Chair. I have to say that the city is communicating as far and broad as we can, because with regards to, there was a planned maintenance that Rand Water started communicating months before it happened, and the city communicates with councillors in various platforms. Although, yes, we can say if there's room for improvement, the city is willing to improve, but I think you might have seen, Chair, in the presentation, the city communicates via bulk SMSs. The city communicates via, we have groups, especially under the Water and Sanitation department, where we have chief area engineers, where there are councillors in those WhatsApp groups, and CRMs for the specific CCC centers. The city communicates via X. I think the Honourable Member has just highlighted that they saw the communication also on X, which formerly known as Twitter. So the city is using quite various platforms. Councillors receive communication via their personal, if their Ekurhuleni emails. I think, Chair, the communication is quite broad from the city of Ekurhuleni. And where there's a need, councillors know that they can contact the various CRM, they can contact the chief area engineers who are readily available on their groups where they can interact. We communicate as broad as we can, Chair, and we communicate timeously and continuously. But we hear what the honourable member is saying, and if there's room for improvement, yes, we will definitely improve. And we must say, and we acknowledge the fact that he's saying that this is a long-term challenge that has been long outstanding. And yes, there is now a light where there's a solution. And if I can also add, Chair, apart from the communication, if I can also add with regards to the supply and demand, the city and Randwater, as highlighted by the Randwater presentation, that we do meet every morning between the city and Randwater and various municipalities in Gauteng, where we assess the supply and demand and how we can mitigate and have equitable distribution. And that is why the Russell Road reservoir was constructed, was because the supply was less than the demand. So we do have those figures, Chair, and in our intergovernmental meeting with COGTA, I think it goes back to what Honorable Mohlala was saying, that maybe in such meetings we need the presence of COGTA. We have Wednesdays meetings where we between the municipalities, and also, Chair, to highlight that our non-revenue water in the city of Ekurhuleni is the least in the whole province of Gauteng. So we have our hands on the pulse. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. Minister, would you like to add something on the report that was mentioned here by the honourable member? Is the minister still on?
No, Chair, I'm covered. I'm covered, Chair. I agree with the member from Ekurhuleni that they are doing very well in terms of responding to the challenges that they have. Thank you very much.
I'm asking, Minister, was presented by the department where the member indicated that he felt that that is an old report and it was not specific to this petition. Would you like to add something to that?
No, Chair. We said from the onset, Chair, that the petition itself was old, and when Ekurhuleni came in, they gave a progress report, and we also when in our presentation together with Randwater, we gave a progress report of what happened since. So I don't have any other further comment on this.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honourable Moore, that was the responses. Are you satisfied with that? Although I think, Honourable Moore, we can ask them to give us the last 3 months report on supply and demand. I can send that to the department. Would that be a request from your side?
That would be very useful, Chair, and I'm satisfied. I hope that moving forward, Chair, when we have these type of things, if we can try and build the detail as I've requested. And just to say, I do have additional questions for when we get to the general questions period. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Moore. Honourable Umalu, your hand is up. And after that, it would be Honourable Ditebe.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much, Minister, Deputy Minister, the honourable members, and also the officials from Ekurhuleni. I greet you all. I would like to make my contribution in isiZulu The reason why I want to do that is because sometimes as members of parliament, we get accused of not doing anything. Not that accusation is not true. It's just that some of our people are left behind because of the language barrier. So so I would like to make my contribution in my mother tongue so that we can get as many people as we possibly can who will be able to understand what we're talking about. Sihlalo Ngqongqoshe nani nabo bonke abakhona nabahlonipheki bonke abakhona njengoba seke kwavezwa ukuthi inkinga yase-Ekurhuleni yase-Germiston akusiyo yodwa i-Germiston mhlawumbe ebhekene nale nkinga. Yebo sikhuluma nge-Germiston kodwa akusiyo yodwa kuphela i-Germiston enale nkinga. Inkinga nje khona yonke indawo. Kodwa-ke ngoba namhlanje sikhuluma nge-Germiston kusho ukuthi-ke umuntu uzozama ukuthi agxile kuyona. Ukhulunywe la ngodaba lokubulawa kwempahla ethutha amanzi, meaning the vandalism of the infrastructure and theft. Ngifisa ukwazi ukuthi kulabo abaqondene nalolu hlelo yini eniyenzile ukubhekana nalesi simo sokuthi izinto zingantshontshwa. Sizwile ukuthi kukhona la njengalapha eCape Town kwi-oversight report esiyitholile ukuthi khona baqashe i-security ukuthi ibhekane nokutshontshwa kwezinto. Umbuzo-ke uthi-ke lapho-ke eGermiston yini siyenziwe ikakhulukazi ekuqinisekiseni ukuthi izinto azintshontshwa ngoba kuyabonakala ukuthi kunesimo sokulimala sokuthi amanzi agcine engafinyeleli emphakathini ngenxa yokuthi kuntshontshwa izinto. Iziphi inhlelo-ke eseninazo, hhayi enisazoba nazo kodwa esenibe nazo ukugwema lesi simo sokuntshontshwa kwezinto? Okwesibili, kukhulunywe ngodaba lwe-ground water. Yini evimbayo mhlawumbe ukuthi ngoba kuyabonakala ukuthi kunenkinga yamanzi, yini evimbayo ukuthi kungafakwa kungalandwa lamanzi aphansi azolekelela ekuthenini kufakwe ukuze umthamo wamanzi ube mkhulu ukuze imiphakathi isizakale? Yini mhlawumbe enivimbayo ukuthi ningakwenzi lokho? Okunye-ke engifisa ukukuveza okuye kwavezwa esinye seyikhulumi la udaba lwama-report. Ama-report ayangikhathaza kakhulu ngoba esikhathini esiningi avela emahle kakhulu kodwa uthola ukuthi thina masifunde i-report lana sifunda izinto ezinhle kabi kuthiwa hayi yonke into iza kahle iza kahle iza kahle. Kodwa uma ulalela Sihlalo kulento ekhulunywa la nethulwa la uyathola ukuthi le nkinga indala and ngineqiniso ukuthi nangaphambilini bekhona ama-report amasha. Manje-ke ngifuna ukukuveza lokho ukuthi kuyakhathaza kakhulu ukuthi kuthiwe kunama-report, sithola ama-report amahle kodwa uma uthi uyaphansi uthola esinye isithombe esiqhubekayo. Ngicela ukuthi leyo nto leyo kutholakale mhlawumbe indlela yokuthi sikwazi ukubhalansisa uma silethelwa i-report angazi singenza kanjani ekuthenini nathi sazi kahle hle ukuthi lokho kubhalwe kwi-report kuyafana yini nalokho okwenzeka phansi ngoba sigijima namaqhubu inkukhu ayikho, sibamba amaqhubu inkukhu ayikho. Ngiyakuzwa Ngqongqoshe, ngiyavumelana nawe kakhulu lokho kushoyo ukuthi umsebenzi ka-Water and Sanitation ukuthunyelwa kwamanzi komasipala. Futhi okwesibili umasipala bathini lokhu uhulumeni ngesingaye, kuyiqiniso lokho, ngiyavumelana nawe kulokho. Kodwa ngiyacela, yebo sesiqalile kodwa-ke ngiyafisa nami ukugqugquzela ekuthenini ake siliqinisekiseni lolu hlelo lokusebenzisana ka-Water and Sanitation nomasipala ngoba umasipala uyiclient elikhulu lalo mnyango wakho Ngqongqoshe. Ngakho-ke lesi sidingo kunesidingo esikhulu sokuthi kuqinisekiswe ukusebenzisana ngoba ekugcineni kosuku kugcina kusolwa u-Water and Sanitation sakuthi uyena obhekisa izinto kanti inkinga ingale kwamasipala. Manje-ke kunesidingo esikhulu salokho. bese ngibuya ngiza kulolu daba lokhu abakubiza nge-equitable share, ukuphakelwa kwamanzi ngendlela elinganayo. Kuyakhathaza futhi sihlalo nongqongqoshe nabo bonke abakhona ukuzwa ukuthi amafemu iwona athola amanzi kakhudlwana okudlula imiphakathi. Uke wabeka omunye uzakwethu la ethi inkinga i-planning ebekhona kulokhu okwenzakalayo, ukuthi-ke nakho lokho akwemukelekile, asikwemukeli njengekomidi lakwa-Water and Sanitation ukuthi kukhona abazowathola amanzi abanye bawathola ebusuku. Ayizwakali kahle loo nto leyo, iveza nobulwane nokungabacabangeli abantu. Lowo mkhuba sithi awuphele, awemukelekile. Siyacela kakhulu leyo nto leyo ingaphinde yenzeke. Amanzi awagujwe phansi uma kufanele agujwe phansi ukuze abantu bezothola ukusizakala. Okugcina-ke engifisa ukuveza, ukhona okwabeka igama elithi we are being reactionaries. Asinalo ikhambi, sixuma kuphela uma sekonakele. Nakho lokho kuyaveza ukuthi kodwa kubonakala ngazi ukuthi alukho kahle uhlelo olukhona lokubhekana nale nkinga yokusolakala kwamanzi. Ungathi nje siphapha manje ekuseni sekuthiwa amanzi awekho, nansi inkinga bese kugijima iyolungiswa. Ake kubuyelwe phansi-ke kulungiswe umsuka wenkinga la usuka khona, kube nohlelo olucacile lokulungisa leyo nkinga ekhona esibhekene nayo njengamanje eGermiston nasezweni lonke. Nakho lokhu kwamapayipi, yebo ngqongqoshe ngiyavumelana nawe ekuthenini amapayipi anjani into kamasipala, but ake sibhekane nayo le nkinga, ake sithole indlela yokuthi uCorkta no-Water and Sanitation, uhulumeni oyedwa lo, asingenzi ngazi ukuthi abanye abantu, ake sizame ukuthola indlela yokusebenzisana ekuthenini silungise lesi simo esikhona. Ilokho nje kakhulukazi engifisa ukuba ngikudlulise kafishane ekuthenini akubonakali kodwa ngathi sinalo uhlelo olukhona. Kubonakala ngazi ukuthi nje siyagijima nje sibamba amaqhubu. Yabona umuntu uhlanya olubonakala licosha iphepha namhlanje manje selinamandla bese licosha itshe. Iyona ndlela ekubonakala ngathi kusetshenzwa ngayo engamukelekile. Njengoba ngike ngachaza ekuqaleni indaba zama-report ukuthi lama-report anokusidukisa, ayasidukisa ama-report, asinikeza esikhathini esiningi izinto ezingekho nezingelona iqiniso on the ground. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. I didn't understand one word, so may I ask you, Honorable Khumalo, did you ask a question specific to someone, and if that person understood that we can then maybe translate? So can you maybe, or is it a general statement that you've made, Honorable Member?
Okay. There were questions and also the general statement. The question that I posed was the issue on the issue of vandalism and theft. What has those people responsible for protecting the what you call the infrastructure there? What have they done to make sure that there is no vandalism and there is no theft? We have heard on the oversight report in Cape Town that security company has been employed to make sure that there is protection of what you call of the infrastructure over there. Is there anything similar to that one in Germiston? And also on the issue of groundwater, what is it that is stopping you from ensuring that you get the water, what you call the groundwater, so that the water shortage can be somehow minimized? And also on the issue of the reuse, what are you considering that? And if you're considering that, what are you doing to make sure that the reuse of water is being implemented? And another thing that I've forgotten to mention as well was on the issue of water use. I'll call it water use reduction. If you reduce the water supply to businesses, like somebody has mentioned at the OR International Airport, there's gonna be disaster over there if you reduce the supply of water to that institution. There's gonna be a huge disaster. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say, we need more water. More water must be supplied. Other means of correcting the situation of the lack of water supply in Germiston, it must be found as in yesterday. Because if you say other party should get more water and the other one should not get more water, that is a disaster. That's a recipe for a disaster. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Ekurhuleni. Councillor, would you like to answer the vandalism, reuse of water, groundwater, and the reduction of water, please?
Yes, thank you very much, Chair. The city has security installed and placed in all our infrastructure, so we do not have a serious problem when it comes to vandalism and theft with regards to our infrastructure. And then with regards, Chair, to the groundwater sourcing, Ekurhuleni is a very dolomitic area, and we struggle with a lot of sinkholes, and our groundwater, most of it is contaminated with acid mine water. So where possible, and geotechnical reports reflect that it is possible for an industry or a business or a household to get a borehole after doing the water tests, and it's possible that they can get clean, drinkable water. We do allow that. We do not have a problem with sourcing groundwater, but as a generic, the city of Ekurhuleni is quite a dolomitic area, so we do it on a base-to-base issue in order to avoid sinkholes in our city. I think, Chair, maybe the presentation was a bit misunderstood when it came to us prioritizing industries over and above residents. The presentation said that the high-lying areas will be the last to get water, meaning they will get water once the reservoirs reach a reachable level, because high-lying areas get water pumped. But the low-lying areas where the presentation showed with the industries, they do receive water. But the high-lying areas will be the last to get water once the reservoirs reach a reachable level. So I want to assure the honourable members, Chair, that we do not prioritize industries over the citizens. You can mark our words on that. We would never do that. And I also made a point, Chair, to show that there are bylaws where industries have to have storage capacity to a certain number of hours. In case there are certain unplanned interruptions, then the industries can be able not to stop production. As you may know, the city of Ekurhuleni is quite an industrial city, and our revenue relies mostly on its citizens and its industries. I think I've covered most of the questions from the Honourable Member, Chair, and my sincere apologies, Babu Ngumalo, I could not respond ngesizulu, so that abantu bazokhona ukuzwa all of them. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor, there's still one question, the reuse of water. Are you considering looking at reuse of water from your wastewater treatment plants and recycle that back? I think that was the last question.
Yeah, definitely, Chair. We visited quite a few industries, and quite a few of our estates are taking water from our entity called Airwatt, which is the one that purifies, cleans our sanitation water, and they reuse it for gardening. There's an industry that we visited. They take secondary water and manufacture certain products out of it. So as a city, under the sanitation department, we are reclaiming water and also reusing water. We are also currently having a memorandum of understanding that we are currently in communication with Rand Water in our entity, which will assist us in using secondary water in other certain areas of the city and also of the province. So yeah, we are using secondary water, Chair, in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Khumalo, are you satisfied with the response?
Yes, I am satisfied, but I just want to assure the member over there, the Sisi, from Ekurhuleni. Look, I understood the fact that when it comes to the equitable share of water between the industries and the community and the local communities, that it was because of those that are on the upper lying area and others that are on the low lying areas. But it was very important for us, or for me and other members, to highlight that it's not acceptable. People should know that as this committee, we are not happy. Yes, the reasons are there, they are valid, but we need to still mention that we are not happy with how things are unfolding over there. That because as people who have been elected to come here, the people on the ground should know that we feel the pain that they're feeling. Yes, there are reasons, I agree with you, but at the end of the day, it's very important that we need to say something. We need to say something that, look, we are not happy with what is happening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take note of your last statement. Honorable Dikebe, your questioning.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. My apology, I was traveling, so that's why I notified the committee secretary that I will join the meeting after it has commenced. So I have been with you for almost the last hour. But thank you very much for the opportunity. Let me greet the minister and the deputy ministers, yourself, Chair, honorable members, the city of Ekurhuleni and Rand Water. I have, Chairperson, been listening to the interventions, deliberations of members. And I'd like to perhaps, at the risk of being misunderstood, echo both your sentiments and the sentiments of the minister. While no one will be restricted at all from participating in whatever manner their own style of delivery, of presentation of issues, I, however, understand that while we are here, perhaps we can make comments that's acceptable, however, limit such, because it is expected that we should, at the very least, make those comments, very limited comments, but ask questions and make recommendations. And indeed, there is nothing wrong sometimes if a member has not understood something well, or they may have not themselves articulated it that well, that there should be a response from those that are here to answer the questions. Chairperson, I must say that I'm very much heartened by what Honorable Rady has said by referring to the water tanker mafia, because if a party communicates and
is inconsistent in how it communicates certain particular issues, then people have got all kinds of mixed and different expectations. So if officially that is the position of his party, that it is opposed to either construction mafia or water tanker mafia, etc., then that's quite encouraging. Therefore, we must remain consistent in condemning that, because sometimes, Chair, to euphemize or to try and rationalize and justify the outrightly rogue and illegal activities of these elements undermines the very rule of law and our constitutional order. So I'd like to say, Chairperson, perhaps before I come to the next part of what I'm going to say, ask Rand Water, and I think that the Honorable Councillor has already responded to that, but perhaps to put this question first to the city to say, how many of the both instances of authorized and unauthorized consumption insofar as non-revenue water, how much exactly does it amount to? And I've heard her very well that Ekurhuleni is the least, loser of water, non-revenue water that is in the whole of Gauteng. But just so that they could give us an idea. And perhaps a similar question to Rand Water. In the past, Rand Water has said that there are instances of encroachment on their pipeline, be it by people, say, in the informal settlements, and that can be quite dangerous because the sheer size of that pipe, anything between 400 millimeters to 450 millimeters, can be quite dangerous for people if it's tampered with, and the volume of water that is likely to gush out of that huge pipe. Now, how much of that? This being the question to Ekurhuleni, to Rand Water, how much of the water loss arising from the encroachment? How much of it is there, and how much does it amount to? And the other one, Chairperson, is with regards to this, and I'm glad that the councillor has actually explained it. And whether the industry or, let's say, the firms get more water than people, etc. I think we all know anyway that if we were to assume that everybody uses water responsibly, that water, the provision of water will not be equal but equitable. And a very good example is this. My son goes to the Northwest University, and as I go through the gates, I see huge reservoirs there, more than one, so that at any time when there is no water available in the city, then the students in the residences can have water because they would have kept that water in the reservoirs. But of course, in the end, they pay for it. And it's the same thing as when somebody has a Georgia tank of 2,000 or 3,000 liters, and when there's no water in the reticulation system, they will have water if they have a pump to pump that water into the house. But that user will pay more than somebody who has to wait for water if it's restricted to come back later. So I think, Chairperson, I'm making this point to say, while indeed members are quite correct in insisting that the freshwater resources must be well managed, the reticulation network, etc., must be well maintained, we must, under no circumstances, directly or indirectly, or even imply that it is okay if people access water even if they don't pay for it. I know members are not saying that outrightly, but sometimes the tone that you use suggests that water is available, but we all know in particular that non-revenue water, Chairperson, to reduce it is a very powerful demand management instrument to decrease that stress on existing water resources. And that particular exercise on its own does not take only the technicians in the municipality, but it takes everybody right across the board. You know, the community itself, because the municipality, remember, is defined as officials, as the councillors and the citizens. So that's a municipality. And ours is a constitutional democracy which requires active participation of citizens in that constitutional framework. The laws, the constitution, the institutions that the constitution creates. So it is important that we understand that, so that when we join members in calling for a drastic reduction in non-revenue water, we understand that, for example, as I said, that there is the unauthorized, which will be more from communal tax and those that have no water meters, or where the municipality, perhaps people may have water meters, but the municipality is not billing them. And of course, that there will be the authorized, the issue of the dissipation in the houses, either your toilet leaking or something to that effect. So clearly, it's not even just a matter of focus on the Department of Water and Sanitation. I agree. When people talk of government, they don't really make a distinction between the national, provincial, and local sphere of government. When they see anybody who, in their view, represents government, that is government. And of course, in the spirit of what the Constitution provides for, I said this when we met with National Treasury and Clarke last week, in the spirit of the values and principles that's enshrined at Section 41, cooperative government. It is important that all of us embrace that in its entirety. So, Chairperson, those being my questions, both to the city and to Randwater, I'd like them to really advise us, and whether there are any, lastly, Chairperson, any best practices which they share. The minister has indeed done a lot, engaging the government of Gauteng and all other important stakeholders. Whether there are any best practices, if, for example, the city of Ekurhuleni is doing so well, and why can't the city of Tshwane, the city of Johannesburg, do same? Working, for example, with Randwater, are there any best practices that they are sharing at some platform, as the metros, for example, so that we can drastically reduce this, the incidence of non-revenue water? Because lastly, Chair, it's a matter of total water supplied and total water sold. It's the Department of Water and Sanitation provides us with raw water, then to the via the catchment areas to the water boards, and the water boards, of course, treat that. But ultimately, it's the water boards that sell to the water service authorities, municipalities, and municipalities, of course, to residents, to businesses. And it is at that point where the leakage within the internal reticulation network occurs the most. And I think the mechanics of that, for me, that's very important to appreciate, so that as and when we make interventions, we are able to do so. Chair, just to say this practically, and I hope you'll appreciate this, Mr. Reddy. Every time, wherever I go, I look for any signs of encroachment on the pipeline of the Val Central, which, as you know, is one water board that is in distress along with Mahalis. But it is one water board that is owed the highest amount of money by my own municipality, Machabeng. And this, by the 4th of December, once they get that equitable share, they must pay that 150 million to the water board, because as a public representative and together with you, it's our responsibility to ensure that they get that money. So And those that I have reported, they are attending to them. It's a bit more difficult with the internal reticulation network within the jurisdictional area of the municipality. But with the water board, I can tell you those are very few incidents, and even the water loss that's occurring from there, it's as a result of people in the nearby informal settlement, illegal miners, or some people who are not heading their animals, their cattle in authorized areas, etc., grazing lands and so forth. So it's a much more multi-layered, complex situation that all of us need to take care of. Thank you very much, Chairperson, with those comments and questions.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Rand Water, would you like to respond?
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson, and for the questions that have been posed by Honourable Dithebe. I can only indicate, I think the Group Chief Executive will come in, that even the MMC, Honourable MMC, mentioned earlier on that from the point of view of interacting and partnership with municipalities, through the Premier of Gauteng and the MMC of Clarke and Gauteng, we have the intergovernmental relations meetings on a weekly basis, and we have jointly developed and agreed on a dashboard that has, among others, how we deal with non-revenue water, payment of rent water, and many other infrastructure-related issues that we share on a weekly basis when we meet as part of our commitment to work together in Gauteng. I'll then request the CE to respond more to the operational issues that were posed around the cost of non-revenue water related. Tatemsai?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, just in terms of the last point that you have made, that also talks to cross-pollination of best practice. The dashboard that we have developed at the province, at a technical level, we, as far as possible, also tried to, cross-pollinate all the good practice in terms of water conservation and demand management from Ekurhuleni to the other municipalities, one. But two, we have what you call Project 1600, that looks at water conservation and demand management measures. That platform is intended to do exactly that, Honourable Dithebe, to ensure that we take those best practices, particularly from Ekurhuleni, and share them with the other metros. But as the provincial head has indicated, we have another platform, PWSG, where we have roped in, or where the department has roped in external service providers from the World Bank. Some of them worked in Cape Town towards day zero, to also share with us and other municipalities some of the best practices. So you would see, if Johannesburg Water was here, they would also articulate some of the measures that they're currently putting in place to bring the non-revenue water down, and of course learning specifically from the water conservation and demand management processes of Ekurhuleni. And I think we are also particularly lucky that in all the platforms, HOD, Ekurhuleni, and then MMC Msane sit in those, because all of them, they really need a political will and political leadership. It makes it easy to manage those risks. So you'll see, even in Johannesburg, the city manager and the executive mayor are currently leading those discussions, and we hope, with, of course, the leadership of the minister, who has also been with us in Johannesburg, where we have the highest non-revenue water, together with the premier. Part of doing that is to make sure that we cross-pollinate these best practices. and specifically around the losses as a result of encroachment. Our total non-revenue sitting at about 5%, oscillates around that number. Of course, it's very difficult because by the time that you get there, the water is really gushing out at the pressures that I demonstrated in our last presentation. If I were to put my head on the block of that, about 5%, 1% is as a result of these encroachment. But Honorable Member Ndadidi, the biggest challenge for me and the concern for me, that is why we are running this campaign, you'll see in the news and everywhere, is fatalities. That by the time that we get there, we may have, lose lives. And indeed, if you have, for example, an informal settlement in Makause, that we're trying to do, work out a plan for them with Ekurhuleni going forward, of course, led by Councillor Msani and the other councillors there. We have been there with other councillors to find a suitable place to accommodate them. The biggest challenge is if they tap in that line, it's a line that not only feeds Ekurhuleni, but Tshwane and our municipalities in Mpumalanga. When you have that encroachment and encroachment into our valve chambers and the line itself, it causes problems that have been mentioned in areas such as in most areas in Germiston as well. And for the system to recover, it becomes quite difficult. So I think if I were to put my number down, I'll estimate it at around that number. But as you rightfully mentioned, for us, it's issues of loss of life and the inconvenience that it causes, and the system takes time to recover. So if we have an encroachment now, the system in high demand can take weeks to recover because you have to bleed it. And as you bleed it, you have to make sure that the reservoirs are full and goes on and on and on. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Ekurhuleni, would you like to answer on the water losses?
Yes, Chair, with your permission, the HOD can give a short presentation on our water losses, but I think as Rainwater has also highlighted, the city of Ekurhuleni is really relatively not the highest, although we do want to reduce, but currently we're sitting at 29% vis-a-vis municipalities that some of them are above 40, but with your permission, we can give a presentation or we can send it to yourself.
I think you can send it to us, but in general, you have mentioned you're on 29%, which is excellent, and we want to congratulate you. We need to get you down to 14, 15%, but I think you're on the right track. I would like to ask that you maybe send within the next 14 days a presentation to the committee on your water losses and how you have managed your water losses to get to that percentage. We would appreciate that. Honourable Ditebe, are you comfortable with the answers that was given on your questions?
Chairperson, yes, I certainly am. I must say, though, that Project 1600 and the other, which involves multilateral institutions and other people with experience, having worked, say, whether in the city of Cape Town or maybe Gqeberha, it is something that I think, Chair, whilst we are dealing with the petition and everything else, having given rise to these responses, in particular, Chair, if you look at two of our most distressed water boards, we need to, as quickly as possible, get all the best practices from there with Rainwater, City of Ekurhuleni, and the other metros.
Chair, Honourable Chair.
Minister, yes, Minister.
Yes, I'm very sorry. I'm getting out of the platform now, but I think, Chair, I must raise my concern and ask for your indulgence that in future, let's talk to members. You know, when we debate here, Chair, when we respond, it has never happened in this committee that a member, like Honorable Reddy, go and write on the chat to say out of order for saying what I said. We don't usually do that. How are we could treat one another with respect? Respect is mutual. We don't usually go and respond to a member through the chat. Because if I respond back to that chat, it won't be nice. I just want to request, Chair, that let's have clear protocols when we are in a meeting. This is not a WhatsApp group of a street. These are honorable members.
Thank you, Minister. We take note of that. I haven't seen the chat because we never use the chat. So can I then ask Minister that we will deal with this matter in the committee, and then I would like to ask that Honourable Ditebe continue with the closing remarks on his request.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thanks, Chair, and thanks to the Minister. The point that I was making, Chairperson, simply was that with the responses that the CEO has given, and of course the Honourable MMC, we welcome those, but perhaps, at the level of the water board, certainly there are platforms where Rainwater, interacts with other water boards, and in particular, I'm mentioning those two, Chair Mahalis. As you know, the department has had to go to National Treasury to request 15 million rand, and of course, with the withholding of equitable share, of course, in line with Section 216 of the Constitution, we would truly appreciate that, because we cannot go out of the country somewhere, important as that may be sometimes, to glean all the important information that can help us make decisions better and decisions that are durable. Just for purposes of emphasis, I know that at the technical and other levels, they obviously are interacting, but just so that we help get, in particular, those two water boards out of the distressful situation they are in. And I'm very much impressed by the work that they do, working with the Minister, Chair, the government of Gauteng and the metros. So that really would be just my plea. But otherwise, the two respondents have responded to my questions quite comprehensively and to my satisfaction. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable Ramaila.
Thank you very much, Chair. Maybe I must also start by, like you did in acknowledging our new member, Honourable Reddy, to this committee, also do the same. And then I can see that Honourable member is really oozing with energy that we may tap into, positively to enhance the work of the Portfolio Committee. As Honourable Reddy have already suggested to the committee about the capacitation of the honourable members with the program that we have recommended, and I'm sure the chairperson will look into. You are welcome. But Chair, I also want to appreciate the manner in which today we have the Department of Water and Sanitation. We've got rainwater, we've got Ekurhuleni Municipality. For me, this is a clear demonstration of how, working together in a collaborative manner, we can be able really to deal with the water challenges that are facing our municipalities. I must further appreciate the presentation by Ekurhuleni Municipality, in particular the MMC, in as far as the developments regarding the Russell Road Reservoir is concerned. And I think what we really need to do is to strengthen our collaboration, particularly as far as us communicating with our clients or customers is concerned, so that they can be able to appreciate the challenges that we are faced with, and as well be able to understand the solutions that the municipality is providing during the long term. But also, I think an update on a regular basis, MMC, with regard to temporary measures that are being applied to relieve the community of the pressure that all the challenges that they are having with national water is concerned. I think that is necessary. And for me, that relates particularly to the matter that we're dealing on hand now. We can really improve a lot on that. Chair, I know at some point there was functional assessment done for water service authorities. How old the report is, I may not know, but I think that provides a basis upon which our WSAs, especially our metros, can use that as a base to do the diagnostic study of their water in understanding their water balance, so that they're able to identify the gaps that exist and analyze them properly. That would actually help them in forward planning and have a full grasp and understanding of the water challenges, because that part would also help them to understand in terms of the inflow and outflows of their water, particularly from the point of abstraction that is getting water from the rainwater up to the point of consumption, so that they can be able to analyze where the loss is from. But also, Chair, I would want to also appreciate the work of the Minister, especially with the report that we have received from rainwater now. In as far as the intervention in Joburg is concerned, that process is yielding results. And that emphasizes the point that as the portfolio committee working with the Minister, we are indeed making an impact out there in as far as non-revenue water is concerned, because that's our major concern. And I'm sure we have done quite a lot. We have made presentation to Parliament, and the Parliament has supported us in ensuring that there's going to be a reduction as far as non-revenue is concerned. Chair, I want to propose a matter that maybe might be looked into in future. That in as far as the use of water is concerned, there's water for industrial. Where is possible, Chair, I would want to take an example of, for instance, in the Eastern Loop in Ekurhuleni, where you have a water user association that is responsible for the raw water only, and they supply that raw water to the mines. And most of the industries really do not require potable water in the main. They need that for drinking, yes. But in the main, the water they need in their processes of manufacturing, whatever they're manufacturing, they need raw water. Is there a possibility, a study might be undertaken, maybe rainwater might look into that as well, of separating this, and that you have industries having direct access to raw water? And if they have direct access to raw water, it would mean that then becomes the responsibility of Department of Water and Sanitation through their water boards. If we could look into that, that maybe might alleviate municipality of a situation where they seem been supplying more water to industrial than to the consumers. That is something that I'm suggesting we might want to really look into, Chair. That is one of the things. The next issue I want us to look into and make a recommendation for is a general recommendation, not only to Ekurhuleni, but to all water service authorities. And this is with regard to water tanker mafia. Chair, you might have known or have knowledge about this. In the majority, the water tankers, the water that they are providing they abstract that water using the, what do you call this one? Hydrants. The water hydrants. These are the pipes that are used for fire. And those belong to municipalities. If you want to understand the source of water tankers in Hammanskraal, they use the water hydrants of the municipality and sell back the water to the municipality. And now, in as far as security is concerned, that's an area that the municipalities will have to make sure that they secure those water hydrants, because they get, the municipality does not have water, but the mafias are supplying water from the same municipality, and communities are paying for that water. And they draw water from the fire hydrants, the fire hydrants. And I'm requesting that, Chair, I'm making a concrete proposal that really municipalities will really need to look into this. It's quite a serious concern for me, and it's a matter that needs to be attended to very, very urgently. And those will be the two recommendations I would want to make in as far as this is concerned, Chair. But for not today, Chair, but it's a matter that I would request the Chair to take note of. The media is abuzz with the Mohali City sewer spillages. It's all over, and I think it requires our attention now. And I was therefore going to propose, with a short period remaining before you're going to recess, Chair, because this is an urgent matter. It's either you say you ask the department to intervene in that area, but you also ask the municipality to send us a report as a portfolio committee, indicating the immediate intervention measures to want to apply to really address the situation in that area, because it's quite worrisome as far as the environment is concerned, pollution-wise. But also, what is the long-term solution to this crisis that they are facing as far as their wastewater treatment works is concerned? It's alleged they need plus minus 150 million to upgrade that wastewater treatment works. Secondly, Chair, I would want to the issue of affecting the city of Cape Town, Chair, is a matter that came out on the news from ground up as a report of a response by the Minister of Fisheries, Forestry and Environment, Minister John George, responding to a question raised by Honorable Kobe, who's a member of this portfolio committee in Parliament. Ground Up says, in response, the minister, and okay, the catch word there is that City of Cape Town may pump as much sewer into the sea as it likes. This is after the upliftment of permits limiting the quantity of sewer outfalls to be pumped into those marine. That is in particular Hot Bay, Greenpoint, and Camps Bay. And it goes further to explain that this happens, and there's appeals on the matter. But it also going to explain that this happens after what had happened previously, is that they were using a general authorization from the Department of Water and Sanitation, right? Which it means now they're no longer using this authorization from the Department of Water and Sanitation. They're using whatever in as far as the Forestry, Fisheries, Environment Department is concerned. But you're looking at it, sounds of kind of an overreach by Minister John George. I might not have correct facts about it, but I'm of the view that Chair want to concretely recommend to this committee that we request the City of Cape Town to write a report to this portfolio committee explaining all this that came out as a follow-up to the question by the Honorable Kobe, but what came out on ground up, whether that is true or not. It's for them to come and make a presentation to the committee. But that presentation must be able to tell us about their current wastewater treatment works capacity, and also if there are limitations with regard to that, what temporary measures are they applying to alleviate the water treatment works or the overweight load that they have? But in terms of forward planning, how do they envision the future of their water treatment works in as far as increasing their capacity is concerned? I'm aware we are remaining with about weeks before we go on recess. But for me, these two, Chair, are very critical reports that must really come to this committee. I thank you.
Thank you very much. It is crucial, and I agree with you 100%. May I ask the Deputy Minister Matlobo to reply to your questions?
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and then DMC Lulu, the Chair of the Board, Simpson and the team. Chairperson, probably one of the things we could say is that the presentation by both the Ministry, Rand Water, and also the City of Ekurhuleni, I think the answers have been provided that the petitioner, we do admit the problem persists. And in the meantime, there is a medium-term solution that the capability, the storage facility that supplies Germiston already work is almost complete, like the MMC has said. And they need to be able to continue to manage the system in the current capacity, which is just a little bit of a short term that is there. But at the very same time, Chairperson, we are very pleased because Rand Water and the City of Ekurhuleni Chair, they meet every morning and they meet in the afternoon, our technical teams. They look at the health of the system, and we are going to request that they keep an eye on this particular system so that the high-lying areas are not affected. This is our response. Apart from the bigger issues that we have said, Chair, we are actually providing leadership for the first time. I'm very, very happy. From the ministry to the premier to all the mayors and the MMCs, and Gauteng is turning around the corner. When you look at Ekurhuleni, like you're saying, Chair, when it comes to managing the demand, they are currently coming down to below 30%. And we say we want them to be more ambitious, Chair. They can do more in terms of their ability to respond to major burst pipes, the turnaround time, the leakages, but they are actually doing well. Like Johannesburg and others, they are responding because there is leadership now. And we are very happy that in as much as there's an inconvenience on citizens, the City of Ekurhuleni and all the other metros, Chair, in the province, they have committed them to a number of reforms. One of the reform, Chairperson, Ekurhuleni, remember they have their own wastewater company that is there. They are looking now at ring-fencing the entity around water, manage it as a professional entity so that at least issues around capability and funding are not a problem because it will be ring-fenced. It will be able to invest back on the issues where they need to do O&M, develop new infrastructure, and also pay creditors. As we sit now, Ekurhuleni, Johannesburg, Tshwane, Midvaal, and others, because of the leadership we've been providing over the last 2 to 3 months, Chairperson, they don't owe Rand Water, and we're very, very pleased. And when it comes to issues like Honorable Ramaile is raising, reuse in South Africa is currently happening, Chairperson. But we wanted that we needed to upscale it. And Rand Water has a number of initiatives where we want to promote reuse. You go to Ekurhuleni in Germiston itself, Chair. You know that there's a lot of underground water. We did put a reclamation plant there. You remember the acid mine drainage issue that is there. You go to Mpumalanga and many other areas. Groundwater, even how polluted it is, there is that particular issue of a reuse. Rand Water and ourselves and municipalities, they are also looking at reuse of effluent so that the effluent can be treated to a particular standard for various uses. And then we do it somewhere in Mkhalakwen and Limpopo and elsewhere. But even in Tswane, people that are drinking water from Temba system, Chair, you will know that water is from a reuse system because it comes as an effluent, it goes to Apis to local. Reuse, we do agree with the members that we need to do that. When it comes to issues of water tankering, the position of the department, Chair, is very, very clear. We don't want tankering to be a permanent feature. Because if it is a permanent feature, municipalities are not going to get the necessary revenue. It will count as part of unaccounted water. The citizens will be inconvenienced because there will be intermittent supply because this thing cannot be sometimes monitored properly. But at the very same time, some of the water tanker, which is private users, Chair, then they started to work with some municipal officials or some councillors. They end up interfering with infrastructure and the levels of vandalism become very, very high. And then when the infrastructure is affected, then ultimately the water will not come from the tap. It impacts negatively on municipalities. As a fallback position, our attitude is that the tankers must be owned by the state so that we can remove this risk. And a number of these municipalities in Gauteng, including Ekurhuleni, they have taken that particular cure. When it comes to cooperation with municipalities, Chair, I think that answer has been clearly clarified. We have different roles, but there's interdependence, there's support. And in Gauteng, support has been given to the highest level, and there's no municipality that is not responding. You know, Chairperson, because of the funding and including the issues of the challenges they have about implementation, most of these municipalities, they are opening up on the reform where you have an independent water service provider, whether in a form of a concession, whether in a form of an SPV. And a number of them have started engaging Rand Water because of its reputation and its capability that it will be able to form a win-win kind of a solution where there's an equity on an entity, ring-fenced, has a clear capability. They will go to the market, but at the very same time, that money will be there. A certain rebates will go to municipality to fund other activities, but will not be able to complain about issues of what. Mohale City, we know there are challenges. I know DM Sitlulu was dealing with some of the challenges, but we are very pleased to indicate that in Mohale City, the changes that has happened at a leadership level, there is a clear commitment from the mayor, working with the council, and they've started engaging with Rand Water Chairperson so that at least they are able to get out of this quagmire because in the current financial resources they have, they will not have the capacity to resolve their problem. But more importantly, most of the problems are about leadership. And then this time around, we're very, very content that these issues of sewer running them. The issue of the City of Cape Town Chairperson and the response by the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, I would suggest that we don't respond currently without the details that are here because there is a concurrent function when it comes to National Environmental Management Act around certain issues, what effluent can be disposed and dispose of what, and we're working jointly with them. Let's be in a position to look what does this mean whether does it has an impact on the environment or not, whether does it have an impact on the existing licenses or authorization, whether it is the EIA, whether it is the Section 21G, which is about disposal into that particular outflow. Probably you can give us, Chair, the next 14 days that the ministries and the two DGs, they will interact, including with the city of Cape Town. And then if members, they want to respond, will be able to respond accordingly. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Minister. I think we would like to have a respond if you can have this meeting with the Environment and City of Cape Town and then forward us a report, and then early in the new year, we can then invite the two departments as well as City of Cape Town to come and make a presentation to this committee. Honourable members, before I go for a second round, we've got a few minutes left. My request is that I firstly would like to ask Honourable Ramahila whether he's satisfied with the Minister's response, and that we will receive a report and a meeting with the City of Cape Town. Honourable Member, can you maybe indicate whether you are satisfied?
I'm happy, Chair, and I assume the 14 days will be for both Makgale City and the City of Cape Town. And lastly, Chair, as a general matter, in our meetings, this reminds me, we have got actionable items that require 14 days, no?
Yeah.
And I'm sure we've got quite a lot of 14 days that have gone past, and we never got a report, and I don't think that's how we need to operate. I'm going to ask Chair, and I'm suggesting here, it should be, these actionable items should become a standard item in every agenda, so that we can be told that in the previous decision where we have given people 14 days, what did they've given us those reports? And if they didn't, we must be given reasons why they did not do such. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. It's a very good suggestion. We will add that to the agenda. Just be reminded that some of these 14 days only start when the minutes have been approved, like the oversight report where it says 14 days after the minutes have been approved. Honourable members, before we go to a second round, we've got a few minutes left. I would like to ask Honourable Clarke whether there is, from her side, on all the discussions we've had on this petition, whether there's something she would like to ask or a comment made on this before I go on a second round, because on the second round it could be general questions as well. So I would, if you indulge with me, Honourable Moore and Honourable Matlala, let I give the opportunity quickly to the Honourable Clarke to whether there is something that she'd like to ask or get clarified. Thank you.
Chair, the Honourable Clarke had to step off so that she can get to Parliament. I don't believe she's on the call anymore.
All right, no, that's no problem. Then that's fine. Honourable Member, there is 3 hands up. Still 4 questions. There is a few minutes left, and there is a follow-up meeting that will start in a few minutes. So, Honourable Moore, you the first. You can continue.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for all of the responses that have been received. I have first one question for the City of Ekurhuleni. We've already had a commitment from them on the non-revenue water, but please can we get a clear indication of non-revenue water and real or physical losses? The last stats I saw were 30% and 27.5%, and that's a very small gap for non-revenue water, excluding physical losses, when we consider the number of theft, vandalism, and illegal connections we've heard about today. So with that report, I'd appreciate the detail. The second thing is, City of Ekurhuleni used to have a permanent limit. Rand Water publishes usage on a weekly basis from the major municipalities. The Ekurhuleni's usage was 813, I think, and now it is 1022 megalitres a day. Can we get an understanding of why that happened? Because it did change about a month ago, I believe. And then just to Randwater two things. The one is, can Randwater confirm that they are still on track as far as they're aware to complete the Russell Road, the connection required to get direct feed to Russell Road, which I believe will assist with this issue. And I think the date on that was April 2025. And then finally, the last item, Chair, just because it's the general section and other people have been talking beyond Ekurhuleni, is I'd like to ask, currently Johannesburg Water have reported that they have low water levels in almost all their reservoirs, but particularly their central system and their commando system. And I wanted to ask Randwater if they can provide information just to confirm whether they have provided full supply to those areas, so the normal supply or the agreed upon supply, or whether there are any challenges either today or in the last 2 to 3 days that might have caused this, because it does seem to be a massive effect across the entire of Johannesburg, but particularly affecting the vulnerable central and commando systems. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Ekurhuleni, would you just include the real losses in that report that you will send us within 14 days? And then I think the balance of the questions are for Randwater quickly to answer.
The group chief executive will deal with that.
Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Chair, from Randwater side, yes, we're still on track with Russell Road. And I think Councillor Msane has provided a detailed feedback on that one. We're working long and hard to see if we can't deliver it before April. As he indicated, we're not targeting much. Just in terms of Johannesburg Water, I haven't gotten feedback from today's meeting in terms of that supply. But that system, Councillor Moore, you will know that has been experiencing challenges for quite a number of years now. And we know that Johannesburg Water is building an additional reservoir and boosting capacity in that. And those projects are currently underway. I think some of them will start being delivered early next year and progressively over a period of time. I don't have those details on this notebook. So between now and then, that system will continue to experience low level. We supplied the system through Ekenhof. Currently, as we speak, we don't have any, if you like, breakdowns or shutdowns or maintenance. We did have over the weekend that we reported to our communities in that space where City of Johannesburg wanted to do maintenance in terms of city power, and we took it out for some time. So what they may be experiencing is latent effect. As you know, during high demand system, particularly in that area, the system takes time to recover. I also do not know if they are doing any maintenance work locally in that area, but largely commando system as Johannesburg Water has been consistently reporting that it needs additional boosting capacity and storage. They are attending to that. And I think that we can arrange for them to give us a response that we can forward to the committee in terms of the specific timeframes. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. And the question of the allocation of water to Ekurhuleni?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Chair. I forgot that. Apologies. Yeah, currently, we have just renewed our bulk water supply agreement with Ekurhuleni, and the allocation is at about, Mr. Moore, at about 8,000 megaliters of water a day. They are abstracting around about that number, and most of the time, even below that number. I think the movement from that 800 to 1,000, I think at one stage, the non-revenue was maybe 26.7. The HOD will will assist me there. It could have been why that number was low, but I think as we speak, they're obstructing within not only the 1,800 license that we have, but the 1,600 license that we are expected, or we expect all the municipalities to be at. So they're really on the dot there. I think for me, if we're talking about high consumption, list of our worries at the bulk level, it's really Ekurhuleni, and anything, as the DM says, below that line will just be a bonus. I think will really take us to being some of the best in the world, but within South African contexts and the system supply point of view around consumption, I think we are happy with where they are. And as I say, they're even below the license that of 1,600 of next year. So I can't recall the details of 813, but indeed that 1022, we're happy with that consumption. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable Moore, are you satisfied?
I'm satisfied, Chair. I just I spoke earlier about the communication challenges, and I think Johannesburg Water are claiming that they have low inflow, and I think it's important. So thank you, CEO. If Eikenoff is running at full steam, then it's a deflection on Rand Water rather than acknowledging their own challenges. So I appreciate the response.
Thank you very much. Honourable Motlala.
No, thanks so much, Chairperson. I'm not going to waste time because I can see time is against us. I just want to take this moment to thank the city for handling this matter with such diligence, the department's assistance in Gauteng and the collaboration with other stakeholders is truly impressive. Together we can go somewhere. We can turn things around. We acknowledge the effort of the MMC for Water and Sanitation in Ekurhuleni, who has been active on the ground and is committed to addressing these issues. Her dedication is commendable, but we must recognize that the repairing a system that has already collapsed present significant challenges. Together we can go somewhere, as I've already said. We must demand more from our leaders and push for immediate and effective solution to restore our water infrastructure and ensure that all communities have reliable access to clean water. The time for empty promises is over. We need action that reflects our commitment to serving the people. Another member said here, it is very unacceptable for the people from MK, for the people not to have water in Ekurhuleni. This is the motto of the EFF. We stand for that. We are against that and we are fighting that. Hence, you see now this improvement happening in Ekurhuleni. You must remember this thing persisted for decades, both before and after the apartheid era. This crisis is rooted in poor spatial planning, which has historically failed to address the needs of our communities. As people relocate in search for essential services, we see an overwhelming influx into areas like Gauteng. This migration exacerbates the supply-demand imbalance, leading to severe water shortages. The government's lack of proactive measures over the years has directly contributed to the challenges we face today. But we thank so much also for the issue of the war on leaks. They are doing very well in Gauteng. Lastly, it is imperative that we prioritize the completion of the Lesotho Highlands Water Project Phase 2, which is critical for increasing the water supply for Gauteng. Furthermore, we must implement robust demand-side measures to reduce consumption and improve efficiency in water use. The commitment for all stakeholders, the government, the municipalities, and the community is essential to ensure a sustainable and a secure water supply for the future. Thank you. It was not a question, it was just a statement that I want to put from my side. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Yeah, thank you from also thanks from my side to Ekurhuleni for making a presentation and also answering the questions from the members. Thank you very much also to the department and Rand Water for their presentation. The last word will go to Honourable Reddy.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I do understand time is against us, but I just wanted to also record my thanks to you as well as members of the committee and everybody who had contributed. I raised certain pertinent issues And I see that the debate today was dominated by what I had raised. So much so that even the minister had to come on and comment on a comment I made in the chat group. I just want to say that in all portfolio committees where we use Zoom platform, the chat is used effectively for members to make comments. It's not a chat like WhatsApp chat. It's a professional chat where you are able to explain yourself and avoid coming onto the actual platform and making comments. You save time in that way. So I want to thank you and I want to thank the members. Water losses is critical and we need to handle this as a partnership with everybody, water boards, municipalities, and everyone working together. We will be able to deal with the core, the root of the problem, which is non-revenue water. Thank you very much. It was really a pleasure, my first meeting in this portfolio committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Reddy. Honourable members, thank you very much for attending this meeting. To the Minister in her absence, Deputy Ministers, the Acting DG, and then also CEO and the board member, and then the councillor from MMC from Ekurhuleni and officials. Thank you very much for your contribution to this, and in the absence of Honourable Clarke, also thank her for making, handing in this petition. I totally agree with the previous speaker. I think it was Honourable Matlala that said we should have had Cocta here as well. But I think this was also sent to Cocta, so they will most probably also deal with this. Honourable members, I just need to say that this is our last meeting of this term. We will meet early in next year again. To all of you, have a blessed festive season and enjoy the time that you're going to spend with your family. And hope I see you all in good health in the new year. And with that said, I would adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
And
Goodbye,
thank you.
colleagues.
Welcome, Comrade
you, Chair.
Rebecca, to GNU. You must also support GNU. I can hear you are defending the GNU in Ekurhuleni. Inconsistent. You must be very consistent in tune.
Ngiyavuma DM.
No.
Yeah,
Thanks, Commissioner.
Ungeni
Thank
order
you.
from DM.